Welcome back to Numbers on the Board.
Numbers on the board, yes!
We're here. We got 4 teams left. We got a lot of different rumors. And we got a special drop from Enjoy Basketball. The hometown capsule is dropping at 2 o'clock Eastern time. My fault, I forgot the name of it for a second. We got Lakers, we got Bulls, we got Knicks, we got Raptors dropping again, 2 o'clock Eastern time. This is a very special drop. We got some of it right here, embroidered hoodies. We got T-shirts. We got it all, man. Go ahead, shop, Enjoy Basketball. It was a really dope moment to have a collaboration with the NBA and Fanatics. We've been working on it. I know people be saying this shit all the time, but like we've been working on it for 2 full years since it came across our table, getting the designs right, getting the licensing, getting all of the legal stuff out of the way so we can bring some really cool, dope stuff to y'all. Quality is always A1 with Enjoy Basketball. So if you cop something, let us know, man. We really do.
I'm gonna try to get me 2, because I want to do like some giveaways.
Yeah, okay.
But it had to be Laker fans then.
Yeah. What?
I guess.
What 2 cities would you buy?
What if you bought 2 of everything? Show. Buy 2 of everything. Help us sell out.
I don't even know how much some hoodies cost.
Crazy.
$88.
They do?
$88.
It'd be crazy to buy some of the stuff from the teams that ain't in the playoffs no more. Or it never was.
Yeah.
That would be stupid.
Don't do that. We got to sell them out. We actually got to sell them.
The Bulls going to sell.
Oh, okay, right. True.
I was talking about the Lakers and Raptors.
Oh, you know,
the Lakers will be out.
The Toronto, they gonna show out for their city, man.
Just like you showed out for
I said it's a trick just to get you to start going crazy for it. Yeah. Big Toronto guy, man.
Toronto, they gonna show up for their city, man.
Yeah. People think that you picked Toronto. That's not the way it worked. We just picked based on our demographic and, of course, the demographic of the NBA, the Toronto Raptors were number 4. And since you rep every team, he's like, yeah, it makes sense for Darrick to put this on. It would be weird for you to have a Knicks jersey or shirt and he would be the Raptors. So
that would actually be hilarious.
Yeah. Nah, that would just be stupid. Is it Toronto or Toronto?
Toronto.
No, it's
Toronto.
Yeah. That's what they told us.
Okay.
When we was out there.
Baltimore.
Toronto. Okay.
You don't pronounce every syllable in that. Baltimore.
Just like
you sound like you from there.
Certain people say Illinois, even though you don't.
Illinois.
I got family members that say that. Like, you've been here for 56 years. What do you mean? Illinois.
He catch me up sometimes.
That's like the Chicago.
The Boston. He just did
Boston.
that.
Boston.
Jared Henderson from the Boston.
Oh,
it amazes me that we have an accent, but we don't hear it. Like when you go to like New York or the South, they be like, "You from up north?" And like you just don't even know that you have a Chicago accent just because we so accustomed
I don't think
to
anybody know that they have an accent.
I think accents are going away though, slowly but surely, because you have influence from everywhere. Like you can just go on YouTube and watch nothing but New York creators, and you're gonna start to sound like a New York creator because that's what you're being influenced by.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I'm telling you, accents are not as strong in 2025 as they were in 2005.
I don't know.
Statistically.
I don't know. I feel like I would still just sound like
I just did an interview and somebody talked about my Chicago accent. Ka.
No, I'm not saying they don't exist.
Ka, yeah. I think Ka's like a Chicago. I didn't know I said Ka until one time somebody was like, "What did you say?" And I was like, Ka. And they said, "No, you didn't say that. You said, why did you say Ka?" I corrected myself and I said car when they told me to repeat it. And it was like, "No, you didn't say car. You said Ka." And I was like, "I did?" I didn't. You don't even notice that you talk like that sometimes.
Yeah. I got family that's from Memphis, and they sometimes be a little country. I don't think that they know. That's just, you know what I mean?
That y'all is so strong. It's so strong, bro.
I use y'all all the time.
What else you use?
Soap.
That's a lie. And that's how you know it's a lie. Because he couldn't even get it out.
He had to just make up some shit.
I'm excited, though. I feel good to be back. I can't wait to hear what we got to talk about with these rumors. The people have been on my butt because of the Sun series, but I'm in this part of the series where I'm trying to make some trades happen in the offseason. And I'm like, what can happen? You know what I mean? Like, what is really going on in the NBA outside of the playoffs? And there's just so many things. I'm seeing the Bulls tapped into stuff. I'm seeing all type of crazies. I saw a trade where Ja Morant went to the Heat. Yikes. And I'm like, are we sure we not just jumping the gun a bit? Are we sure this amount of stars are really out there to be traded? You get what I'm saying? Or is this just that postseason excitement? Because a lot of times you see a bunch of rumors and nothing ever material. Even the Giannis stuff, I'm kind of like pumping my brakes on because there is a chance that Giannis walks into the office and be like,
Giannis is the one guy Giannis is the one guy I think has a high chance he could move. And that's still even like a probably not.
Did you see the report?
He's having that conversation with the front office very soon. I remember what day it was, but we'll know a lot.
The report was what could end up happening is even if Giannis wants to move, which I think I said this when this first came, the GM who just got an extension, Horst, I believe his name is.
John Horst, yep.
It's not that he's going to be bogus to Giannis, but he's going to have to do his job. So it's not going to be like, we can send you where you want to go. I got to get the best package. And the best package may be gutting the other team to the point where it wouldn't even make sense for Giannis to go there, which could then have Giannis in a situation where he just ends up staying because even though I want to go, I can't tell them, hey, because you see all these reports, he really likes Steph Curry. No shit. How does he get to the Golden State Warriors? You know what I'm saying? You're going to tell me that AirPods is enough to get Giannis?
I just don't think people really be understanding when they make the trades that how much you have to give for Giannis.
Yeah.
You just have to give so damn much that, again, even getting all that stuff back, the package is probably still not even equating to what Giannis is.
Then you're seeing reports that he want to stay out east. Tell me an Eastern Conference team that just is loaded up. What you going to do? I don't want to hear shit about the Bulls.
He was just here. He was just here like a week ago.
Unless you promoing this drop, I don't want to hear shit about the Bulls. There's no way you're going to convince me Giannis is going to the Pelicans.
Well, that's not in the East.
I know, but they always say that they got the package because they own the Bucks picks.
Yeah.
The Warriors ain't in the East either. Keep up with me, brother.
I think it's just one of those.
I saw my guy, Bill Simmons, talking about Evan Mobley for Giannis. Did y'all see that?
No,
I didn't see that.
I love the trade machine, but I hate the trade machine too because everybody got access to it. I done got sent some. Even this morning, I saw some trades that was like Porzingis and a first-round pick for Vucevic and somebody else. I was kind of fake. I was fake interested.
Ooh, Celtics giving y'all the first-round pick?
Yeah, because Porzingis might not be able to ever play basketball again at a high level. Like, take this contract. We take Vucevic and Lonzo.
How long is Porzingis' contract?
It's expiring after this year.
I wouldn't do that trade if I was the Celtics.
He is a Celtics fan, so send me that.
Yeah,
it's a 25th overall pick for Vucevic
fans
and
are so
Lonzo.
emotional. That's why fans can't get jobs in the front office because you would do that dumbass trade, and next year your best two players might be hurt. So just let them ride it out.
He also sent me another one that had Porzingis going to the Lakers, Mike.
For who?
Rui, Maxey, Dalton Connect.
Damn.
No draft capital in this.
What year is Max?
Trade.
That contract is always on 3 years remaining. so this has to be the expiring years. Would that be?
It is.
Okay. Rui expiring?
Yep. It's 2 expirings.
So why not keep Porzingis if you're just getting expirings?
He must really like Rui Hachimura and Dalton Connect.
Why would the Lakers trade Rui for that, though?
They want to be.
They want a big.
Not Porzingis, though. I need someone that's reliable. If I'm trading Rui, I want something reliable.
Yeah, that's true.
Porzingis wasn't even able to play most of the season.
As far as we know, it's today.
Yeah.
He might get the right type of stuff because in his interview yesterday, Brad Stevens at his exit interview, he was talking about Porzingis having long COVID, basically. So that's what he's going through.
I can see that. Porzingis is better than Jackson Hayes, even if you get 59 games out of him.
True. But will you get him during the playoffs where it really matter?
I think you can, unless you think he's going to be sick like this.
I mean, it's basically 2 playoff runs in a row where he only played a handful of games, whether it be because of the sickness or the injury that he dealt with last year.
This one was the worst, though. This one was worse.
Yeah.
Last year he had some explosive games. He kind of could have played, but they was handling business so much that he didn't. This one is like he's sick, he's better, he can't breathe. It was just very strange. So I understand the frustration from the Celtic fans. But knowing what you know about next year with Tatum's injury, Brown's potential surgery needed injury, it's like if you got to trade, you trade him. But you just gonna give him up and give a first round pick away to give him up to the Bulls? Hell no! Don't give up a first round pick to trade him. It ain't.
They ain't been using the 25th pick right anyway.
It ain't that necessary. Wasn't Peyton Pitcher one of those picks?
Yeah, they've been doing pretty good. All right, before we dive into it too much, let's drop the mic.
A new generation of Toyota drivers are here, and they want you to know one thing. You can't stop my drive. Toyota, let's go places. Today's Drop the Mic, presented by Toyota. We talked a little bit about the East already. What's the chances we see the Pacers and the Knicks back in the conference finals next year? Looking at the Celtics, their injuries they're going through. We have the Bucks have, well, they're just kind of like in a question mark right now, especially with Dame's injury, if Giannis is going to be there or not. It's a lot of teams that's kind of got question marks above them, but the Pacers and Knicks should be relatively, the same.
Sure.
It's tough to say.
I think
I'm gonna say low, just because it's hard to predict the year out completely. I mean, we don't even know what the offseason looks like, right? Giannis might get traded to another Eastern Conference team, and it's like that team might be the conference finals.
Philadelphia might click next year.
It's a possibility.
So if that's something that really actually happens, then it's like this is probably the team that might actually go to the conference finals.
Yeah,
so.
And their seeding might be different, right? They might see 10 in the second round instead of the conference finals this time around. So I'm gonna say 10%, 15% chance.
Yeah, I'll give it 18%.
I'll give it higher percentages than that. But I do agree with them that all it takes is for Philly to bounce back, Giannis to be traded. I know we talked about it, I think, yesterday a little bit. A lot of people are going to be off of them. But the Cavs still exist until they make a And if they do make a move, it's probably going to be a move that makes them look even better. So I'm not ruling out the Cavs just because they, quote-unquote, disappointed this year. And it happens, right?
Detroit can come out and have a surprising offseason where we're like, oh, man, they just did this last year. They can now it's like they did much better.
I'm very interested to see where the offseason is going to go because I do look at teams like Detroit. I look at teams like Orlando. I look at teams like Atlanta. And I'm like, what could they really do to catapult themselves in there? Because it's so strong up top of the East when everybody is kind of healthy. But so it's like, how do those teams break through and not just consistently be 6, 7, 8?
I think that was kind of my logic. Like I said, I mentioned Celtics, and then you have Milwaukee, who are kind of dealing with some stuff, and maybe they make moves or whatever they do. But I guess the other teams you do have to look at is the Cavs, who they just haven't been able to really get it done. And then same thing with Philly. Joel Embiid is probably the biggest question mark going into next season, honestly.
All it takes is to get over the hump.
It do.
It don't matter how many times it took you. It don't matter how many times you disappointed. I remember when the Bucks was that team. Remember when Bucks was Giannis before they got to the ring? They kept disappointing and they built the wall and they went through this. And man, I don't know if we're going to take them serious. And then they got over it, and that's all it takes. So that's why I'm saying the Cavaliers are going to come in next year, and people going to have their doubts. They're going to say, but this happened and that happened. I ain't taking them serious. They got to show me in the playoffs. All it takes is for you to get over the hump one time.
Just tune out all that noise. Sometimes it's stepping stones to get there. Not everybody just runs straight to the NBA Finals. You can't just be the Miami Heat. Yeah, they put together a team with Braun, Wade, and Bosh, and they went straight to the finals. But not every team can just put together a team and just go straight to the finals.
I mean, Cleveland, they've been right there. They've been second round, so they're one series away. So
certain
one
teams,
episode at a time, like y'all said.
Certain teams got to do it a couple times. They got to go through that and build that up. They ain't like Philly, who would feel like Philly been there for a decade.
Yeah,
where it's like you're right there. They've been right there in multiple eras. The Ben Simmons era, Jimmy Butler, and JJ Redick,
the James Harden era was right there. There's a lot of different stuff. How many? This is way tangent. How many top 10 players are left in the playoffs?
Jokic, Shai.
No,
he's
Jokic
not left in the playoffs.
He's not left.
Oh yeah, I'm tweaking.
You know why? Because in Game 7 they was Huff.
Huff as hell. Anthony Edwards.
Oh, Mike wasn't here for that.
Yeah, he wasn't. Anthony Edwards.
When Christian walked in?
Yeah, Christian didn't know what Huff meant. We told him don't Google it, and we're going to use it in the episode to see if he can use context clues to figure it out. It's okay.
So, Shai, Anthony Edwards, and Brunson.
Okay.
Top what?
Top 10.
Jalen Brunson is a top 10 player?
I believe so.
Can you count me down some players to see?
So you got Steph, KD, Giannis, Tatum,
Jokic,
Luka. Yeah, he's still in there. Anthony Edwards. Then you can go. I think LeBron probably falls out for me. And then I'll put Brunson. Did I say Shai already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how many?
Crazy.
How?
Just the way you start.
Yeah,
and how
you started
went.
with Who did he start
Can we
with?
start over? Again, they don't have to be in order, but give me
He
top 10
started off
players.
with like
I forgot
somebody,
what
and then he
number
went to like
Started
Kevin
with
Durant.
Steph Curry,
Yeah, Steph then like
Try to
Kevin.
be in order as much
Okay,
as you
so
can.
Jokic, Giannis, Shai, Tatum. Then we can go Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, Luka, Tatum.
You already said Tatum.
I already said Tatum? Okay. Then Luka, and then we can go Brunson. Trying to think who else will be in there.
I can
like
give you some names. if
KD,
you-
Booker,
KD. Okay.
and then-
Booker, Anthony Davis are kind of like in that realm.
Where's Donovan Mitchell? Is he top 10?
Yeah,
player?
Donovan Mitchell
Ooh,
should be
that's-
in there.
That's questionable. We could put Donovan in there.
Is that? I love me some Jalen Brunson. Is Jalen Brunson that much better than Donovan Mitchell, where he automatically is in there and you had to think about Donovan Mitchell?
No. They're damn near on the same tier. Yeah.
Only reason I ask is I just remember growing up in these different eras, you kind of need not just a top 10 player, you kind of need like a top 5 player in order to go out to win a championship. And with our last 4 teams, none of those guys are in conversation for top 5 at all. So it's like in this new parity era, and things change, right? Like
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson gets to the finals, he's definitely going to be top 10 because he had to do something well enough to
Shai
be
and
there.
Anthony Edwards, I think, are in the conversation for top,
For top 5.
five.
Well, Shai's top 5 for sure. Let me make
Yeah.
that clear. And Anthony Edwards maybe like 7-ish right now.
It depends on the conversation. When he wins 2 games in a series, they have him top 3. he fluctuates.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that's part of being young. You got to solidify yourself in that top echelon in order to just stay there.
Only reason I had asked about Brunson, I ain't against it. I just think that's the first time I've heard it.
I just think
I seen
he's had the moments too. Like Jalen Brunson has, like for these last few years, has consistently been one of the best point guards in the league. And
I
he's
think it
also-
happened so fast that it might be surprising.
Yeah.
Is he a solidified top 10, or is he top 10 because Embiid is hurt? Dame was pretty much kind of hurt.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that always plays a factor too, because Joel's a lock for top 5 when he's playing healthy.
Okay.
Joel's better than Shai. Shai didn't fall down to me.
Speaking of that parody stuff,
Joel
though, too,
Embiid better than Shai, Mike?
is Joel Embiid better than Shai? Yeah, fully healthy. Yeah, he is.
It's so hard to say. Like peak versus peak, yeah, Joel Embiid, but like how many players in the league do we have to do that for? So because of the reliability aspect, I probably go Shai because I don't have to think when he is healthy because the motherfucker is healthy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But if we're talking peak versus peak Joel Embiid, he top 2, top 3 in the league. But that's just weird that we have to add that caveat to it, I guess.
Yeah.
But back to the parody thing, I was just looking at a stat. It said that this is the first time since like 1992
96. Yeah, I saw
or
that.
96 that the Western Conference Finals doesn't have a team from California or Texas. And it just felt weird kind of saying that, like it's always been like LA,
Lakers,
Golden
Warriors.
State, Texas, or not Texas, San Antonio, one of them type of teams
Houston.
just like getting there.
Dallas.
Yeah, Houston.
It's interesting. One thing I read last night was about because our Western Conference teams are not on the west part of the map, that our games are not going to start at 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
that's kinda weird.
Which is fucking amazing.
That's so nice.
Oh,
man.
it's going to be so good. That we get an 8 o'clock tip on the West Coast game
Yes.
or Western Conference game. So that means our job on Mondays gets easier because we
I'm
ain't got to
finna
be
say,
here at 1 o'clock in the
morning. Being here till 1 o'clock in the morning used to be crazy.
Used to be. It was
Still
We did it
is.
last week.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the game 7 that was a couple nights ago. OKC dominates versus the Denver Nuggets, and now the Denver Nuggets are out. And I guess I got a lot of people talking about the new guy that will have to take charge. What could he possibly do to make it better? What do y'all want to start with that game or that series?
I mean, I think we could just gloss over the game. I mean, I thought OKC did a good job of forcing a lot of turnovers. They made Jokic, again, look uncomfortable in this game. Shout out to Alex Caruso, probably one of the best defensive masterclasses I've seen from a guard on a big. You just don't see that type of stuff happen often, and he's shown you his versatility that he can guard so many damn players that in a series, in a game, I can try to hold my own against Jokic, and they experimented with it, and it worked. And I had said on Linear that sometimes the big, one of the hardest things to do is sometimes just post up a smaller, pesty guard that it's just hard to seal him because, like, you can't really his mobility is just so much more than yours that sometimes it's just hard to, like, seal him. And you saw Jokic struggling sometimes, and even when Caruso would try to front him, Caruso is still strong. Like Caruso might be smaller, but he's like strong and he plays bigger than what his size shows. So he definitely gave Jokic a lot of problems.
Yeah.
I feel like the others really did a good job of pressuring the ball to not allow the easy entry pass.
Yeah.
And then because he was guarding Jokic, he helped, and the length was in help position to not allow those passes to get through easily. And, yeah, man, it was tough. They didn't have guys making shots, and they didn't have one of their best cutters being at full speed. So it was a bit tough, man. It was tough.
Yeah, I just hate that it had to come down like that because, like, it was such a good series. And for us to get a Game 7 where Aaron Gordon isn't 100%, and I shout out to Aaron Gordon for giving it a go. Jokic said that he told him not to play.
Yeah.
And Aaron Gordon essentially made his own decision and decided he's going to go out there for his brothers. And I just think that just shows you how much of a team guy he is. And, like, they tried to smear that him and Russell Westbrook was beefing, and then right after that, they tried to do a post-game interview with him, and he said, I don't even want to talk about basketball. I got wind that y'all was trying to say that me and Russell Westbrook was going at it.
You know what it was? It was the aggregators. Because the article itself talked about a very specific moment that happened. But at the end of it, it says, well, this is what this team is. They hold each other accountable. They're a brotherhood. Yeah. But the aggregators that is going to just take a clip from an article and post it on Twitter, they don't give a damn about telling the full story.
Oh, yeah.
And most people don't care enough to click the article to read the full story.
Yeah.
So it really comes out like, yeah, these dudes don't even like each other. In reality, they like each other so much that they hold each other accountable.
And I think that's normal. I think everybody in a locker room essentially has to hold everybody accountable. Yeah. Nobody should be above anyone. Everybody kind of has to follow the same rules, or either it just won't work. There's always going to be some sort of issues in there if someone's being treated with royalty, but everybody else got to walk around on a certain standard. Yeah. Like, I just think you can't have that hypocrisy going through the locker room. It's just not a good team-building thing.
Yeah, no, Aaron Gordon, I don't know how you can not be an Aaron Gordon fan after this playoff run.
Yeah.
Game winners all over the place, put the body on the line in the Game 7
and play well.
And play well enough, right? It was just like
he
had like 5 rebounds in the first quarter.
Yeah.
It was like just killing.
He had that one big and one too. I'm like, yeah, AG.
He had a 3 and I was like, wow. Yeah. Like, wow.
Eventually you did get to see like the injury was hurting him. Like there was one play where I think it might have been Dort. No, he brought the ball up court. Dort put some pressure on him, and he fell over.
Yeah.
It was like, oh shit, yeah, there it is. But
and you tell he can kind of re-aggravate it too, because not only that, but they were showing him during like the pregame warmups and kind of basically when he first came out, he was moving all right. But something had to happen where it's like, okay, yeah, let me slow down.
He was drugged up, y'all think?
Yeah, he's off them.
Probably, and I guess that hamstring ain't one that you could just.
Yeah, somebody posted like a Rap Genius screenshot. It was like, I can hear them Perkins calling. And it was Aaron Gordon.
How would y'all grade this series for Nikola Jokic?
This is.
I would give it.
Because he only had like 2 like dominant games, right? So
Game 1 and then Game 5.
Game 5.
One of them they won, one of them they lost. Game 1 is a 40-20 game, and then Game 5, I forget what the stat line was.
I'm gonna give Nikola Jokic an A-. The reason I'm gonna give him an A- is because he still, as the best player in the world, put his team in multiple occasions in position to win. There was multiple games where we all watched and we said, hey, that might be an ugly game for Jokic or it might not have been the sexiest game for the Nuggets, but damn it, if Michael Porter Jr. could have given them something.
Yeah.
2 games, Michael Porter Jr. had a 2-game stretch where he went 2 of 14, 0 of 10 from 3. And one of those games, he decided to not shoot 2 of 7, 0 of 5 from 3. I think it changes. I mean, if he just hit 2 more shots that he normally makes without his shoulder being hurt, you know what I mean? Russell Westbrook had a game where he shot 9 threes out of his 12 shots and just didn't give him shit.
How about we grade the Russell Westbrook series?
And so I hate
because I'm going to stick with the Jokic thing.
I don't want to shoulder any responsibility off Jokic. He has to be better. But even in his worst, he was still productive and putting them in a position to ultimately win, which is all you really ask for from your best player. Yeah. And I love that he didn't change. You know what I mean? He kept trying to do whatever. He hit big shots. That one game where he hit that 3, they lost that game.
Fadeaway,
yeah, that fadeaway 3. Like, that's what you want your best player to do.
Yeah, that was game 5. Yeah.
I'm not too far. I'm not too far behind you. Like, I'll probably give it a B+. Like, there's games he could have gotten, like the 0 for 10 game. Like, he could have been better in that game.
Yeah.
But a lot of it, I'm giving credit to OKC for how well they played defense and how well they guarded him and how well they swarmed him and how well they basically just said, like, we're going to contain you as much as possible. And for one of the best players in the world where we don't really see that, having off games or having struggle games, they were able to do that consistently. And, like, I got to give OKC credit on that.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a B. I'm going to give him an A-. Just because I think Jokic, he did a good job with what he could do. And when it comes to playing these great teams like OKC, it's hard to do it just by yourself, as Nikola Jokic and his others sometimes just didn't show up. And with the limited spacing that MPJ and Russell Westbrook was providing, it just kind of made it easier for OKC to kind of scheme around it and make it very – Jokic see a lot of bodies at a lot of times, and kicking it out to MPJ essentially was just – this series was pretty much a turnover.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give him an A-.
Even with that, I also got to find a way to credit him on even trusting his teammates.
Yeah.
After a while, man, Russell Westbrook not getting this motherfucker from me. Michael Porter ain't getting this bitch
if there's
from
any
me.
downside, that's the part of it.
Yeah.
You were actually too trusting, actually.
Yeah, like,
It would be
but
actually better if he
in the
shot.
previous series, Russell Westbrook made those shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The previous series, he won that series for them against the Clippers. And in this series,
Y'all
he's
think he
awful.
should come back, right? Like,
He's got a player option, I think it is.
Would y'all like to see him come back?
I don't think they really have too many options anyway.
I enjoyed Russell Westbrook with Denver. You can't judge what Russell Westbrook did this season strictly off these last few games that he had. Because, like, he started the series okay. He ended the series really bad.
He's like a minus 93 in the series.
I think, like,
And again, if Michael Porter Jr. is himself, you may not have to even play him as much as you did. There were certain points where, like, Adelman was just kind of cuffed because it's like, Michael Porter Jr., I'm going to play him, but he can't throw a rock in water, so
And he don't provide nothing on the defensive
nothing
side.
else. So I have to play Russ, even though he can't throw a rock in water, but at least he may get an offensive rebound. He may fucking,
Get
you
a
know,
steal.
he just provided energy.
energy
Yeah.
boost or something. But then they both are kind of negative spacing, like Darrick said, where you got as good of a defender as Caruso in the first couple games. When Caruso wasn't guarding Jokic, he was guarding Russ, and he was
Yeah.
helping off of him. And all they did was swarm. Legitimately, you might see somebody talking about they see bodies. No. I saw possessions where Jokic, especially in game 2 when they really kicked their ass, bro, I was seeing 4 people guarding Jokic underneath that rim.
But and the crazy thing about it is OKC so damn fast. They started making him even think even more. Because when they trapped him and he's thinking, let me hit my guy that's open. Somebody's darting in that passing lane. So now it's a steal, and it's like, now I got to kind of rethink how I'm passing and how I want to go against the help. They just threw so many looks at him. Like I said, man, I give a lot of credit to OKC defense.
To get back to my own question, I think y'all gave some great arguments. Thinking about this on the way here, I was like, I probably want to give him like a B, talking about Nikola Jokic. But I think the best argument you gave to make me change my grade to be higher, I truly do believe, and I guess time will tell over the next 4 weeks, that this OKC team is the champion. And I respect Minnesota like hell, but I don't know if Minnesota's going to put that big of a fight up against this team. So Jokic
And the 2 Eastern Conference teams probably
lose
won't be
to
able
this
to
team.
either. Yeah.
So Jokic just took the team that, in my opinion, based on right now, are the best team in the league and the eventual championship winner to 7. And that itself, whether you look at the box score, whatever, might be enough for me to raise my grade from a B to a B+ to A-.
And I would tell that to people who are watching and trying to gauge and view. I think this is a great conversation, this series and everything with Jokic, because you can't be a box score watcher. That's not how you analyze, because there's no player on earth that's just going to have it all together. Every single game he's going to shoot 50, 40, 90. He's got everything figured. It's just no such thing. I think the best players are the ones who, even at their worst, finds a way to put their teams in position to win against other great teams. That team is better than the Nuggets. That team is way better than the Nuggets.
Yep.
But Jokic, on his worst nights, found a way to put his team in position to have a chance to win games and to ultimately win the series. It took a lot to sway this.
Yeah.
Aaron Gordon is out there on one fucking leg. Michael Porter Jr. can't lift his shoulder. And I mean, it ain't to discredit the Thunder, because shit, he lifted his shoulder enough when he was 5 or 6. This shit looked all right to me. But it's still, this is a team that almost won 70 games versus a team who coach got fired right before the playoffs and fired the GM because, they was not looking as great. But for him to be, that's what I look at. I don't look at, man, he shot 7 of 25.
It's just a certain group of players that, because they are so important to what their team does and so important to the other team to stop, that their box score won't show the impact of them as a player.
Yeah.
Jokic is, of course, number one on that list. But, like, we have other people that, and I think part of this is maybe, like, the supreme playmakers across basketball, the people that are, like, the true engines. Like, sometimes the Haliburton 9-9 is really fucking good for what the team needs. I don't think he can do that in this series versus the Knicks,
Absolutely.
by the way. But, like, sometimes in that Cavs series, him going into the fourth quarter with 9-9 and them having a 7-point lead was like, yeah, Haliburton's not having a bad game. The shot isn't falling, but he's really orchestrating and he's still setting people up, and he's getting, on top of his 12 assists, he's got 6 hockey assists because he's swinging in and somebody's swinging into an open guy.
I've seen it the other way too, and I don't bringing it back to the Lakers, but like Luka had the games where he had like 2 assists or whatever. And people was like, why he only got 2 assists? They were literally not letting him get those passes off.
You don't want that. Yeah.
They were saying just play one-on-one, just play one-on-one, and that's something like you just not getting from watching the box score.
That's another thing with Brunson. The Knicks won last series, and Brunson did not have the series that he had like against the Pistons, where he's making a Star Thompson get out of the frame and all of that. But knowing who you are, what you do, and not being defeated when things get tough, when you play a role for a team, you have to be that. But if you're a defender, if you are the team's primary defender, if Shai cook you, you still have to be there in that fourth quarter ready to guard him, even if he got 40 going into the – you can't all of a sudden be like, man, coach, I don't know what the fuck to do. I can't stop him. Let's put D Mills on him. Because if you just give that team a 3-minute stretch, Haliburton against the Cavs, when he just – a couple minute stretch against Donovan Mitchell, and they won. Donovan Mitchell, that probably was a game where he almost had 50. That might have been a 48 game.
He had 48.
But it's just like – so, you know what I mean? And I look at players like Brunson, I look at Anthony Edwards, Shai, Jokic, and it's like I determine those guys based off how they react to their down moments. When you go in that second half, knowing you're struggling in the first, are you going to be more passive? Are you going to bail this other team out, trying to make is Jalen Brunson going to try to make Josh Hart be a scorer, knowing that the other team wants that?
Yeah.
One of the greatest performances ever that I ever seen, I won't say ever, was when Dirk was against the Heat and he struggled and struggled and struggled and struggled and struggled. But instead of being like, I ain't got my shot, he kept shooting, they fucking won. And that's all that had mattered. So like I don't really judge the performances too much off that. I mean, I know it could be crazy if somebody's shooting 6 of 29, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like I think it's more
That's
important.
exactly how I feel about Jalen Brunson. Like, I don't care what he's shooting because I know that like the Knicks need him to generate those damn shots. And even if he's 6 for 29 going into 5 minutes left into the fourth, I'm confident that he's gonna still be taking those shots, and I'm damn confident he's making those shots too. Like some players, you just kind of live with those shots, especially if it's their role.
Yeah, being passive just doesn't help your team if you're a guy like a Jalen Brunson or like I love when Hali does flip the switch and he is aggressive. Like I think Haliburton sometimes can be too passive, but when he learns to balance it throughout the game, that's when he's like lethal, where he picks and chooses when he wants to be aggressive and when he wants to get other guys involved and
put the defense in a brain fuck. It's like we was preparing for him to be a passer. Now he's scoring. Now he's scoring and passing. What the fuck?
you know it's gonna be so weird. It's kind of a tangent, but you know what always remind me of Kyron. And I'm gonna tell you why, because Tyrese or
this don't count on me. I'm not participating in this because these
Clips
motherfuckers put a whole
did just drop a video
clip together.
No, when Tyrese said that like he I guess analyzed the game, like he helped to understand the game playing 2K or whatever. And obviously Tyrese is one of the best at just drive and kick. That's we know what he want to do. Kyron loves drive and kick, but Kyron is at his best when he's taking the layups, when he's doing like the in-between stuff. When you're not playing predictable, that's when you really just like, okay, now you got the defense on their toes.
For clips, he is talking about 2K, so you can just add that to the next compilation.
I dominated.
He is not
that
talking about
fucking video.
Kyron in real life.
When the video popped up, I thought it was gonna be mostly you, but I kept, so I'm chilling.
You did say in your series earlier though.
I feel like that's
counted. That don't be counted.
I feel like that's different.
If I was like he something about rec or something, that would count.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's what a lot of that was. Like Me and Mike be saying this when we be running. Don't help, or you got to learn how to guard.
You got to
too.
guard too.
I'm actually surprised y'all still bring it up because y'all don't play anymore. But somehow it still pop up on the show.
I think
Because
when we
it's
was
so relatable.
But I think when we was bringing it up, we was heavy into it when I
Yeah.
looked at those clips.
What's next for the Denver Nuggets? They have, of course, Nikola Jokic on the team. Jamal Murray's extension starts next season, and it's a big-ass extension. Aaron Gordon just got an extension. MPJ has 2 years left on it. Future NBA All-Star Christian Braun.
Let's stop and pause right there, because I almost forgot. Yesterday, we were doing a linear show, and during one of the segments, Mike, for whatever reason, said he thought Christian Braun was going to be an all-star one day. And we kind of laughed high, like, well, you crazy. And then he kind of like doubled down on it. And so KB picked up his phone and he starts naming guys, like, because we like, bro, you know, like Desmond Bane may never be an all-star. You know Jamal Murray, his own teammate, as good as he is, was never an all-star. You know, like there's guys that are a lot better. Austin Reeves may never be an all-star.
CJ McCollum was never an all-star.
You don't think like we all like Christian Braun, but you don't think he's gonna be better than those guys, do you? And that man Mike was like, nah, he gonna be an all, like, fuck what y'all saying, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I said eventually he got to it out of spite. But I said I think he could be.
He said eventually just became stubborn. So I was just saying Christian Braun versus
We
everybody.
named Jaden McDaniels. We named some good. He said Jaden McDaniels only better because he guard. What?
No, he said because he in a role, he in a specific role.
No,
Like
that
Christian Braun,
that one I do feel like
Is Christian Braun not in the role?
he is, but they have like
They're both two supreme role players for their team. They both playing a role.
you
It
right.
ain't. You said that like
You
Christian
right.
Brown is the number one option carrying the shoulder of a
He
Hornets team.
He like the 4th, 5th option.
That's way more lenient than what Jaden McDaniels got to do. Jaden McDaniels is the primary defender, who is also one of the primary guys on offense.
Christian Braun's a great cutter, great fast break player for Nikola Jokic.
Because when you look at the Nuggets, it's going to go Jokic, it's going to go Murray, Gordon, Porter, and then Brown. He's really the 5th option.
He's
But-
going to be the 4th next year.
Yeah, because I think to answer your
He might be
original
the
question, I
3rd.
think Michael Porter Jr. is going to get traded. Seeing
I
how
hope he.
They fired the GM
I
and
hope
coach.
they find one for
They
him.
looking for something to really.
Back to it though. I was tripping. I
think it's okay to
I-
say, man, he's really damn good without having to say he's.
I'll reel it back. He's gonna be one of the best players to not make an All-Star team.
I
There we
still
go.
think that's fucking crazy, but
But that's way
That's
more
better.
fair
that's better.
Yeah.
than what he originally said.
That's better.
Because we went into it, boy. That's one of the things y'all never see because the cameras weren't necessarily on.
But if they playing it in
That's
the bar, if
something I
they
love.
playing that in the bar somewhere, some people will react to that probably. Think like who
But that was
Yeah,
just
people
such a
not gonna
small
care.
part
Yeah.
on TV. The majority
That shit
of
was
the,
a one line. Like
Yeah.
it was on like one line.
and then we talked about it after the camera.
Yeah.
So they won't know the full scope of it. But
Shit,
you,
when
okay.
them Nuggets fans see it though, they gonna be on it.
OG Anunoby is not an all-star.
Yeah.
Probably
Get
won't
paid
be.
like
Mikal
one.
Bridges,
Mikal.
Get paid like one.
he
Yeah.
open to.
Christian Brown about to too. They say his extension might be 30 million.
Y'all think Dynasty's over with since like the CBA rules?
Say it again.
Dynasty's over with. Like we won't be able to build teams for a long time just
Nah,
because.
because if OKC win it this year, they have a window to keep doing it.
For how long though?
At least 5.
All you got to get is like multiple
At least
to be
4
a
years.
dynasty, right?
Yeah. But yeah, the
It would have
second
to
apron
damn
does
near
change that
be.
for sure.
It would have damn near have to be 1 to 2 of your players are on rookies or like they're on really friendly deals at this point.
I
Or-
think if you draft well, you have a chance. I really do. Like if the Wizards, hypothetically speaking, right?
I'm listening.
Let's just say the Wizards draft somebody really good this year at 6. They don't have to be a great player, just really good. They now have a decent core. Let's just say next year they get Darren Peterson or AJ DeBonce, and one of those guys are one of the next stars in this league.
Mm-hmm.
They would have a star in the last 4 or 5 years. They done a good job of drafting a pool of players. And now you have a really good team that are all on these low rookie contracts.
The way it be going,
That's just that sounds so crazy.
I think
That's
it's
what
ju-
OKC
Yeah,
did
yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the first time, really, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook,
James
James
Harden.
Harden, and in between all of that, you got Jeff Green was the same year as Durant. I think Serge was the same year as Harden or Russell. And then you got Steven Adams later. Like, they ain't go out and just go put together a super
I
team. They
think
just
you
drafted
got to
well.
be on top of it like OKC did. Like get in the Isaiah Joe deal before like that really becomes you have to pay him or Aaron Wiggins or something like that. Because a lot of times for these young teams, they're gonna try to add one or two of those vets that might be on a decent little contract, and it could kind of like be one of those times where it's like it's gonna bite back eventually once you have to start paying somebody like you're on the Magic or something like that.
Yeah, it's time and understanding. Like the Isaiah Hartenstein contract makes so much sense, even though it's a lot of money for who Isaiah Hartenstein is. It's just like, hey, we got you for 2 years, and we need you to do this for $60 million. You got that? And so far, the answer has been yes. And even the Alex Caruso extension, they've been really smart about recognizing when the cap is going to go up, exactly how much, and understanding that they have extended Shai, and then they're going to have to extend J-Dub, and they're going to have to extend Chet. So let's put Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein on certain timelines so everything makes sense for the foreseeable future. So I think it is possible. I think in dynasties in general are just going to be harder because there's so much talent in the NBA. And even if you have 2 top 15 players, that doesn't guarantee you shit no more.
Bases of it come from drafting well. Warriors drafted well. OKC drafted well.
And a lot of those teams got lucky eventually. Like Steph Curry hurting his ankles was a huge part of them building the dynasty because now they can afford to go get Kevin Durant when the CBA went up because Steph Curry's making less than a max contract.
That's such a crazy part of that gets lost. That Steph Curry is on such a team-friendly deal that's why they was able to get Kevin Durant.
Nuts without giving up anything. You know, you get a Kevin Durant, you're usually giving up something. No. I'm sorry. They gave up Harrison Barnes. They gave up Harrison Barnes.
Did.
That was a big thing. They just went from Harrison Barnes to Kevin Durant.
Just a minor upgrade after Harrison Barnes shot 0 for a gazillion in the finals.
I remember Klay Thompson said he wasn't giving them no shots for Kevin Durant coming to town.
And he didn't lie.
He did not.
His basketball reference say he was telling the fucking truth.
I mean, if I'm arguably the second best shooter of all time, why would I stop shooting?
Well, in a lot of cases, because fucking Kevin Durant is on the team. Like, usually, I think when he said that, I was like, his ass tweaking. It's fucking Kevin Durant.
But it didn't feel like he was taking more shots than he needed to, though. Like, they were still in the rhythm of the offense.
So, yeah. What year did Kevin Durant get there? 2017?
Because that 2016 is when
LeBron won.
Wait, no. Timeline's messed up. Wait, no. He got there 2016. 2016 free agency class. So Klay Thompson, if the fucking internet will work.
I think he was around like 19 shots.
Klay Thompson took 17 shots per game the year before Kevin Durant got there. 17.6 the next year. So he actually got just a small increase in his shots per game.
When KD was there, isn't that still when Klay Thompson had that quarter where he against the Kings?
No, the quarters against the Kings is before.
Oh, that's the year before?
Before it gets there. I forget what year it is, but Kevin Durant's not on that roster.
Okay.
37 and a quarter.
I
Shit
still
don't even
remember,
sound real.
I still remember watching that live.
You were watching that live?
Yes.
See, I wish I was.
He just started hitting shots, bro. And it was just like.
I've seen it 100 times at this point, but I don't think I was watching live.
You didn't expect, obviously you just don't expect. I love catching like a big moment just like in person and just being like, damn.
Because that's a random regular season game.
Yeah.
It was 7 games on probably. You happened to be
I
on
remember
that
Kyrie, specifically his 55 against the Spurs.
Oh, yeah, that was nasty.
His 55.
Kyrie against the 50.
Which jersey is he in?
He's
in Cleveland.
He's in Cleveland. Yeah, he's in
Who did he drop 50 against when he was a net? Because I was at the movie theater getting updates about that, and I'm like, damn, I should be watching.
Is this the game where he dribbled on the ground?
I don't know.
Isn't that the game where he like dribbled on the ground? He did that like spin on the ground, and then he ended up missing the shot.
Is he hostile?
No, I know exactly what clip you're talking about because his jersey untucked.
Yeah.
But I just don't remember who it was against.
I forgot who that was against. I think that is the game that he dropped 50.
He's got one against the Hornets, the Sixers, in his debut with the Brooklyn Nets scored 50 points in his debut with the Brooklyn Nets against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
That's the game I'm thinking about. Yeah, I'm at the movie theater seeing some bullshit. What year is that?
2019, October 23rd, 2019.
I could probably figure out what movie I was seeing at the moment that I just didn't watch Kyrie Irving Masterclass.
He has multiple 50-point. He's got one with Boston too. Well, Boston, Brooklyn, and with the Mavericks.
Well, he's Kyrie Irving.
Yeah,
that don't surprise me at all. But I want to go back. We jumped all over the place, which ain't nothing wrong with that. The Denver Nuggets offseason. Y'all mentioned Michael Porter Jr. is probably the weak link to get traded. And we talked about this a little bit on a linear show, but it's about figuring out the destination that's really tough.
And that's like the tough part because like for his value and what he's being paid, it's just hard for me to see another team being willing to want to pay him that. That's just the only issue. And then also when you're talking about trading for him, $40 million. That's like That's a lot of players you're gonna have to put in that deal.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. This is gonna have to be like a multiple team deal where things just get moved around. So and then if I'm Russell's agent, I'm telling him this is the first team that you've been on in a little minute that's really maximized you to your fullest potential. Like I feel like it's the best fit for you in your career to pick up that option. Yeah. But obviously, I know it's a business and they want money.
Man,
I mean, at this point, Russ don't really need money.
Russ just wants to enjoy basketball.
Just said it.
Like he's been through so many ups and downs, and Russ is such a strong individual that it probably doesn't bother him.
And this is the happiest I feel like I've seen him.
But for him to just be able to play basketball,
at least visually, I don't know what he feels internally. Obviously, emotions you can't really tell them all from watching. But like, he always looked happy and like he was playing free on the court. Like,
I think in order to make the Michael Porter Jr. trade happen, it would have to be like a 2-for-1 type thing.
I'm doing that, and I don't. But the players are going to be lesser than Michael Porter Jr., and that's kind of bad right now because MPJ he just value's not there. But I think I'm willing to take that and kind of lean into more depth.
It's just a matter of how aggressive they want to be because they don't have any tradable first-round picks as of right now unless they remove the protections on the picks they already have of giving up. So, like, I don't remember where their picks are, but, like, let's say it's top 6 protected. If they get rid of the protection for that team, then it opens up a pick for them to do this here. And then you can convince yourself that, like, hey, Michael Porter Jr. and a scary-ass first-round pick we're giving up for 2 really good role players might be worth it because the depth was a major issue. We talked about in the end of the first quarter, the beginning of the second quarter, when they had no Jokic and no Jamal Murray, that was when the game shifted. Yeah. Maybe if your depth is a little bit better, so you can do something like that.
What you're doing is you unlock the protection so you get the future pick. You trade that future pick to OKC for the 1 pick for the 4 picks.
Who did that recently?
That was the Suns.
Phoenix,
that was the Suns. They traded their pick for multiple first-round picks that had lesser value, but the name first-round pick,
it does a lot, man.
Will get you some value.
It unlocked a bunch of picks for the Suns, so it just they gave them multiple tradable picks. So
you know what I want more than anything for the Denver Nuggets? For them to acquire an adequate backup 5-man. It has been 7 years of us watching Nikola Jokic without a center that mattered behind him.
They got Day'Ron.
I don't know if he's going to be good in his first. I mean, he hasn't played NBA basketball yet, right? So I'm not going to put some unrealistic expectations on him coming off an Achilles, right? I think it was an Achilles. So I hope he's great because we all like Day'Ron. He was dope when we interviewed him and everything.
DeAndre Jordan, I don't know if he want to run anymore. He going to sit on the bench.
Yeah, he's going to be on the team for sure.
But if they check in, he probably is going to tell somebody else to check in.
So it's just a matter of figuring out who that is and how they get it done. And it's like, would you, and this is, I'm just talking off the top of my head, thinking about teams that may have something.
Are you willing, if you do get a backup big man for Jokic, so you can obviously get some time off, or like the minutes that he's off the court aren't just as bad, are you looking for one that can literally, like, you just need 10 to 12 minutes, or you need that guy that can also kind of play alongside Jokic if need be?
From the 5-man?
Yeah. Because Jokic, I think he's about as versatile as they come.
The perfect option is to have somebody that can do both. I just don't know how realistic it is.
Is Chris Middleton a viable option?
Chris Middleton?
Chris Middleton for Michael Porter Jr. in a first? No. Because I think that
how much is MPJ at 40?
Around there, I can look up.
Because Chris is already at 35.
I think that he's so unreliable these last 2 years that you can't convince yourself that that's a worthy trade. What about Portland, Darrick?
They have so many pieces.
Portland giving up?
Rob. Jeremy.
Why not?
What are they getting back?
Because Jeremy Grant.
MPJ and the only unprotected pick that they can open up.
Jeremy Grant just there for the vibes.
They don't have a black coach, though.
Yes, they do.
No, I'm talking about if he gets traded back to Denver.
Yeah.
You know, because that was big on his going to Detroit and then ended up in Portland.
But, yeah, I'm with it.
I seen that. I saw something where somebody was like, Jeremy Grant goes back to Denver. And I was like, this must be an MPJ. I wouldn't mind MPJ in Portland.
Yeah.
I think they just have so many people over there and about to get another first-round pick in. It's like they drafted, of course, Klingon, who now has they have this 3-center rotation when Rob is healthy with DeAndre Ayton to Klingon, and hopefully Klingon can be a full-time starter, so that opens up an opportunity there. And then you get an unprotected pick from Denver. You don't know what the fuck the Denver Nuggets going to look like in 31.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I think that's just maximizing what you got on the team.
and you don't want that Jeremy Grant contract anyway.
I might do that on 2K in my series.
That actually is probably like the more reasonable option because, like, yeah, Chris Middleton, Donald. I would much rather have the other package than the Chris Middleton.
Sending me MPJ to Washington and getting.
Yeah.
I saw that. I mean,
you saw that?
I didn't see that. I'm sorry. When I was on 2K looking through teams, I was like, do you want to send MPJ to Washington? Like, you just shitted on him, but Chris Middleton is short-termer deal than like a Jeremy Grant. But the thing that Portland's gonna run into that I realized was like they're going to be loaded at every position. Like you look at some of the trades and be like, well, they got him, and it's like they're going to have to do a trade.
Yeah,
they're not going to keep all of these centers. They're not going to keep Grant. They're not going to keep Simons. You know what I mean? Like they're probably going to take Anthony Black back, and there's a chance that they're going to draft another guard or another wing when they have Denny and Tamani. Like
somebody just got to stand out. They got to.
Yeah,
I think that's part of rebuilding.
They're going to accumulate a bunch of talent.
When you rebuild, and sometimes you have a overlapping of talent, and somebody just has to stand out, and you're essentially just gonna have to be a GM or a coach, a head coach. They're gonna have to sit down and be like, okay, these are our guys. These are the guys that I feel like are expendable, and then that's how you move on from that.
Something else that I had seen that I might do in my thing. Is there a world where the Magic pull a Knicks and like really shuffle their deck?
Are you talking about like how the Knicks traded for Cat?
So there was something where it was like they get Anthony Simons, like an Anthony Black and one this year's pick. And then there was something else where I saw where you do.
Where's your pick this year? Oh, they made the postseason, so what's it, like 18th?
It's 16.
16.
And I think they have 23.
Okay.
And then there's another trade that you do where you maybe go get like Sabonis, where you trade some of those future picks. You give them like Wendell.
So are they getting Anthony? Is this a separate trade or are these two different
Those
trades?
are
two
two
separate
different
trades.
trades.
Oh, okay.
It's like one is your McHale and one is your Cat trade.
Okay, I see what you're
And then you would come in next year with a team that might not have as much depth, but you would have a lineup that's somewhere like Suggs, Simons, Franz, Paolo, Sabonis.
Okay. I think they
Because I think KCP would probably have to go to Sacramento.
Something, right?
Yeah.
It's like him, Wendell, but you're giving them like two future firsts because the Wendell contract is 4 years long.
I think that what made the Knicks thing so good is it was around Brunson, and they got players that like helped his deficiencies as a defender. They got players that can help his spacing. Sabonis with Paolo scares the shit out of me, at least on paper right now. They don't complement each other.
Spacing wise, they've already was a team that was struggling with spacing.
That's true.
I think adding Sabonis.
Where do you get your spacing at though?
I think
these guys
not bigs. It's not going to be with the big, obviously. I think you want like a good dirty work big with them, but it has to be from your wings and your guards essentially.
Well,
So
this
then-
thing would be for a big, honestly, because you want to drag the bigs outside of the paint.
But not every. A lot of teams don't have a mouse.
That's why I said
So
it's
what?
the
So what is
ideal.
what was your pushback to the Sabonis trade?
The bonus trade, it was just spacing. That was my only pushback.
But you're saying that you're not gonna always get the spacing from the center.
Yeah, so I'm saying like get Anthony Simons. Maybe you find a way to upgrade your two position instead of it being KCP. Maybe there's another
There's
avenue.
Jalen Suggs in this.
Your backcourt is Suggs.
Oh
and
yeah,
Simons.
I think Simons and Suggs, if they shooting the ball well, that could be your spacing right there. And
So-
Paolo's,
So who would you want the center to be then?
it's not Wendell. Maybe even they got like
So Sabonis would work as a center.
maybe.
Even with
It's-
that,
You would go Wendell over Sabonis in that
No.
scenario?
No, but offensively, yes, Sabonis that is an upgrade. But I'm just thinking of like the way that Paolo and him. I don't know. It is a little.
It would be.
Then you
clunky.
go with Mike's point then that you do need spacing from the center. So then they should just go get Vooch. Fake spacing.
no,
Or you could have an
Vooch is the answer. I'm not even trolling. Vooch is their answer.
I would go Sabonis.
I tried to make that trade at the trade deadline.
In theory, though, I do agree that you need some spacing, but I just don't know if I can find it.
Yeah,
So if I
it's
can't
hard.
find the spacing, I would much rather have
Have
a
a
big
talent.
that's going to be productive and that can pass and play away from the basket in some degree.
I think
some
a
degree.
way you can create the spacing with Sabonis is using his playmaking abilities. You can utilize him in a way like that to where you have Franz and Paolo and Simons and
yeah.
Part of
and
that spacing has
Jesus
to be
doing
internal
stuff.
too.
Huh?
Franz Wagner can't shoot this poorly his entire career, right?
Yeah.
I would hope not. But like, yeah,
You didn't
I
pay.
think-
You didn't pay for that. I damn
Yeah.
sure tell you that. They paid for a shooting version of him. Because honestly speaking, we would be having this conversation every year if he's not going to be able to shoot the ball.
yeah.
We'd be having this conversation every
Well,
year.
I think if he goes 2 more years, if we like, okay, this is who he is as a shooter, maybe even another year, we'd have the real conversation about breaking up the duo.
Yeah.
Because
But if he
they
can't
just don't
shoot,
fit.
don't nobody want that shit with that contract. I'm
It-
sorry.
He's figuring $50 million annually.
I'm sorry.
After
Yeah,
that.
I forgot it
You'd
was
be stuck
200
with that.
million. But he even without the shooter, he's so good, but maybe not at 200 million. Yeah.
Shout out
That
to
1
they-
month though, he's getting like
Without
30
the
a
shooting,
game.
he's good. He's not so good. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
He's
I
got to
think-
be able to shoot that fucking ball. At least on this team. Maybe if he go to a team with 4
I
other
think
shooters.
his value as a play finisher off like cuts and as a creator, I'm gonna keep it as so good because of that alone. Because the motherfucker if he gets to the basket, that shot is going in. Like he's one of the best finishers at his position.
he got to be able to shoot. He has to be. Especially regular season mean a lot, but the postseason is where that shit's gonna come up. Has to be able to shoot the basketball. If you can't, especially if you're not the guy, he's not the guy. He's complimenting the guy, and you just it's just nah.
Yeah, he's part of the problem, but also needs the solution to the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he had his spacing, I think his value again goes up as a slasher and everything. But like he also is one of the reasons why there is no spacing because they don't trust him to shoot that. Shout out to the Magic. All right, we have not been able to talk about this conference finals in the West because we didn't have Game 7. So now we know it's OKC versus Minnesota. That starts tonight, if I'm not mistaken,
It
right?
does.
It does.
Shit, that happened real fast.
I think the Knicks are tomorrow though.
How are
Yeah.
y'all feeling about it?
I'm extremely excited because I think this is 2 teams that we saw run the double big lineups, and it seemed to work a lot for both of these teams. And I'm really excited to see that because I think that they have a lot of different ways they could play it. I think Minnesota does have a little bit more versatility when you talk about them having Nas Reed coming off the bench. And OKC really don't have a Jalen Williams, to me, isn't on the caliber of any of those other bigs that Minnesota does have. But I'm just really excited for this Shai and Anthony Edwards matchup the most, just because I feel like those two have always they kind of in that same tier where you're talking about being top 5, and like Anthony Edwards just does so much on the defensive side of the ball too, that this is going to be one of them master classes, I think, from Anthony Edwards and Shai, where we're going to see both of them putting on elite performances. Because Anthony Edwards and Shai, they just not 2 type of dudes that like back down from comp, and like you just know what you're going to get from them. It's the others that sometimes question you, and this is a series where J-Dub can't play like he did last series. If J-Dub can't perform at the level that we know he can play at, I could see Minnesota coming out with this.
This is so weird. This is the second time somebody said a player on the podcast and then he popped up on the TV. That J-Dub chat and Shai commercial about that. And then when you were in the bathroom, Pete, he said something about DeAndre Jordan. He called a tip dunk in the compilation we was watching. It's like, what the hell?
When the last time we seen 2 guys that are like going into their peaking powers meet up?
Oh,
For like a
This
series.
late in the playoffs?
Shai is older, don't get me wrong. Like 2 years, 26, I think, and is about to be 24.
but yeah,
So
but
they
you're
ain't
talking
the
about
same.
ascending there.
They're in the same
Yeah.
range.
Yeah,
It would be
Yeah.
like, if Melo and Braun,
man.
Paul George Braun a little bit.
Nah, Braun.
I think
was too
Braun
seasoned.
Braun was already a little
way too
established,
seasoned.
established
Yeah.
a little bit more, but it was like the 2 stars. It was positional wise too, were head to head going against each other.
Nah,
it was too
I
much
think,
of a
yeah.
gap, though.
LeBron had already won like 3 MVPs at that point.
Yeah. There got to be something closer. It would be like if Derrick Rose had somebody that he had, but even Derrick Rose was running to Braun. Steph
That's a good
versus,
question.
it's like
Yeah, I feel like Steph has to have one maybe.
Steph versus KD, but it's not positional.
Yeah.
Probably, I mean, Steph versus Harden played against each other a shit ton in their times, but I don't even know if that fits.
I mean, kind of, because I think peak Harden was when he got to Houston, and then Steph Curry started to hit his peak. So
It
yeah,
probably would be that.
yeah, that is it.
Yeah, I guess so. It don't feel the same, but I guess they were a lot older.
Yeah.
They were a lot older. This soon, 26, 24. Man, it has to be one that I'm not thinking. Like, did Kobe not meet with somebody? Nah, he didn't. Tracy McGrady, nah, he didn't even get that far in the playoffs.
It's tough.
Yeah, KG and Tim Duncan ain't never faced off early. I don't think so. Yeah,
I didn't even really
don't
think
know.
about it like that.
This may be like Devon talking about the White versus Braun. Devon, come on, man.
The White versus Braun. Back to it though for the series. The more and more I think about it, the more I'm kind of on the verge of just saying OKC kind of gets out of here quick. Initially, I was like maybe it goes 6 or 7 the way the way Minnesota Timberwolves have been playing, just like Julius Randle. I'm expecting Anthony Edwards to just kind of elevate how he's been playing. He's been kind of struggling, and when they get him, Rudy Gobert has been really good. You know, surrounding pieces around him, Naz Reid, Nickeil-Alexander, Dante DiVincenzo, I feel like hasn't even really caught fire, but like they have a lot over there. But them turnovers that OKC forces, that it's enough to run you out the gym for a game and probably for a series too, like we've seen.
Yeah, turnover thing is huge. Our power just came back on at home. Shout out to the comment people. They told us 5 p.m. It's 11 and it's already back on. So shout out to them. I'm closer to feeling that way as well. I don't want to be dismissive of Minnesota because they're a really fucking good team. But I just feel like they can do so many things on the defensive side of the ball to just make it difficult for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Like Anthony Edwards showed us in that first round. I mean, he showed us over the last 2 years, actually. But in that first round versus the Lakers, how dangerous he can be as a ball handler. But I don't know how much that's going to matter against what OKC can throw at him defensively, man. He's going to get Dub. He's going to get Dort. He's going to get Caruso. He's going to get Kaysen. He's going to get all of these dudes. And it's just,
I just think
I don't know if he's had a single person in the first 2 series that's even close to anybody I just mentioned.
I honestly, KB, I hear you, but when you're a certain caliber of player, you don't give a F about who's in front of you.
I don't expect Anthony Edwards to care who's guarding him,
Yeah, he
but
don't
that don't
care.
mean that he's going to be Superman just because he don't care.
I think when you are a guy like Anthony Edwards, what I view him as,
Which
it,
is what
it don't matter
what
who's
you
in
view
front of
him
me.
as.
I view him as one of them ones. Like I
Ooh,
think,
tell him, D-Mill.
I think Anthony Edwards is
Tell
one
him
of
you
them
got
guys
Timberwolves in 5.
that it don't matter who's guarding him, he's still gonna be productive and do what Anthony Edwards is supposed to do. Like he's that damn good.
Now, what's
It
going
don't-
to happen when they trap him?
He gonna make the right play,
What's
or either he gonna take the shot.
I'm just saying, if they making Jokic double think what the hell he doing, and they doing all these defenses, Anthony Edwards, I love him. I don't know if he's got. It's more than just breaking down.
No,
it's
I
more
know,
than
but it's a
just
lot
scoring.
different
You
for
have
a
to actually
guard
analyze.
versus
Yeah,
like how
I
a
don't
big
like
plays.
the Jokic comparison.
Their play styles are drastically different. Anthony Edwards can catch the ball, get screens. He can ISO at the top.
I don't think
like it's so much
the
different.
positioning he had on the floor is different.
I don't mean like Jokic.
I think he just means the mental aspect
Yeah.
where like we saw Jokic, a guy that's so cerebral, double think about the passes that he would normally make on a simple
would you
game.
rather Jokic be with the Denver surrounding team in this playoffs or with Minnesota's?
Minnesota has a better supporting cast for
So
sure.
I think that alleviates a lot more than that as well, because we talked about having Russell. That's Dante DiVincenzo versus Russell Westbrook in the corner. It's a lot easier to deal with it when you have that versus a guy that
That's
ain't really
Jaden.
making
That's the
shit.
fully healthy Jaden McDaniels now versus a hobbled Aaron Gordon. So like, it's a lot of different weapons.
They have legitimate depth on their bench as well.
Mm-hmm.
They got lucky with a Julian Strawther game, who the next game ain't give them shit. It was almost like, why the fuck is he even out there?
Yeah.
To now, Nickeil, Dante, Naz is coming off that bench. So it's hard for me. I get what you're trying to say, but it's hard for me to use the Jokic scenario into this one, personally.
Yeah,
That don't mean that the Timberwolves about to come beat them in 5, though. I ain't saying no shit like that, but it's going to have its own set of issues. They're going to have their own set of principles. And I think OKC got the advantage because I think OKC got versatility as too. You said that about Minnesota. But I think this is a series, and even some of last year, they showed Isaiah Hartenstein ass can come sit down if need be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You put Chet out there and you take Rudy out of that motherfucking paint.
Yeah, Rudy hasn't seen this level of size yet this postseason either. He's played against some small-ass teams in the first 2 rounds. Some real small teams in the first 2 rounds.
But I think one thing for Minnesota is that when they technically smaller lineup where they put Randall and Nas Reed, that's still like a big lineup. They just play differently. Nas Reed is just like shooting threes from all over the court.
Well, I don't think the size thing is going to matter at all in this series, if I'm being completely honest with you. Because I think that they could match each other. Because we talk about double bigs, but OKC can go in their small unit as well. And though J-Dub is only 6'5", the motherfucker plays big as hell.
Yeah.
Can grab them boards. So, yeah, we can match your smalls because our bigs can play perimeter defense as well. We can see Chet guard Nas Reed as a 5. We can see Isaiah Hartenstein guard Julius Randle. I don't think that's a matchup we're going to see a ton. But we can match what you're doing.
Yeah.
And we have every combination as well to do whatever you want to do. If it's playing a lineup with no Mike Conley, or playing a lineup with no Rudy Gobert or no this guy, that guy, we can match it.
Yeah.
And we may be able to force you to play some lineups you don't want to play.
Yeah, it's going to be a chess game for sure. And I'm very excited to see what
Me too.
what works.
I'm
man.
excited to see what Julius Randle does in this
Yes.
series too.
You know, him and J-Dub are the biggest X factors.
He should be able to, really be able to do his shit.
Yeah, if he did what he did against Draymond last series, I feel pretty good about him specifically in this series.
He can go right through Chet. I think J-Dub ain't big enough and strong enough for that.
I think Dub does get the call early on, though. We'll see.
Yeah.
He did that in I rewatched one of their regular season games, and that was their matchup.
Or is
they
it
ended up having.
Caruso?
Caruso's going to get some burn, too, for sure there.
I think in the regular season, to my memory, Minnesota was one of my favorite teams that guarded Shai. One of those games that I thought they did a really good job, Jaden McDaniels, and they kind of zoned up and up top and just.
I think that's what I said on the linear, not to that certain degree, but the personnel that Minnesota has, they could limit a lot of those drives that OKC has. Maybe not from Shai, but from a lot of the others, we can try to make y'all live from the outside.
Yeah. No. I think they match up. These two teams match up with each other really well. Depth, star power, good secondary guys. It's
Versatility.
Good
It's
coaching.
just so much. Yeah, good. It's like literally everything is meeting right where it's supposed to meet. So
Picks.
I'm going Minnesota in 7.
Ooh, OKC in 5.
Well, OKC in 6.
Minnesota in 6.
We split.
I'm riding with my big fella. Y'all ain't finna leave him on no fucking island.
Hey, I was down to be on the island.
Got my boy fucked up.
He said OKC in 5.
OKC in 5, baby.
Would you feel confident enough to put money on it?
Yeah, why not?
Well, how much you want to bet?
What is the bet?
Well,
I
that
bet
just means
OKC don't win in 5.
Oh no,
Yeah, so
I
that
don't
means-
want
I
They
literally,
go 6.
I literally asked you.
How about we could just
Do
do
you feel
who
confident?
takes
That's
the
such a
series?
bad bet.
Yeah.
Because
Who
if they
takes
just
the
go
series?
6 and
Yeah.
okay.
We could do who takes the series.
Can we do
I'll
both?
bet that money.
Can we bet both series? I got
Sure.
the Knicks and the Timberwolves.
Okay, I got OKC and Pacers.
How
So
much?
like, if Knicks make it and OKC make it, do it just equal out,
We just
or we're
split.
doing separate?
We just split. And even if we do it separate, you would win 100 and I would win 100. We would just
All
split.
right, 100 on
y'all
both.
just
100 on
giving
both.
each other
100
$100.
Okay. Yeah, right.
Dick, you want to bet Western?
Are we we were opposites, right? Yeah.
I took OKC.
Yeah. What you need?
5.
500?
500. Yeah, 5 pennies.
I'm not betting 500.
I was finna say, this. He ain't
Well, okay,
betting
then you
500.
give me the number then. You can't ask me what my number is. Be like, no. You give me your number.
We could do
Or is it a
150.
number?
We could do 150.
150. All right, 150. 150.
Just a series, right, Mike?
Yeah, just
Yeah, just series.
I
No
ain't
games.
doing no games and shit.
Yeah, no
just
games.
serious.
That game stuff get tricky.
They
all
get
of a
very
sudden they pull an OKC game one.
Somebody
And we
spray-
just give up the game.
All it
'cause they
takes is
miss a
one
free throw.
sprained ankle, and it's a 1 game less.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. We don't want to hear none of that.
I was streaming the other day and King Morgan came in there. He said, Mike, tell me if I'm wrong. He said I had made a bet on the series with one of my homies, but since Tatum got hurt, we taking it. He said we shouldn't do it anymore since Tatum got hurt.
Well, it's a good friend. Cause
Yeah.
wait, who?
No. Imagine me and you made a bet, and you took the Celtics.
Yeah.
I took Knicks. It's game 6. Jason Tatum get hurt. We say, nah, let's call that shit off. since
Who
Jason
is? Did King Morgan accept it?
No, he
okay.
was just saying like, is
He's
that
fucking crazy as hell.
Yeah, he's like, am I wrong?
I said good friend because I thought he was saying we could call off.
Yeah.
Because they had that game in the bag before Tatum injury.
Yeah.
Now, they definitely had an easier closing to the series without him. But they was already up 3-1 for you to be talking about some. I hate motherfuckers like that, bro. I hate. Because if the shoe was on the other
because he got hurt.
if the shoe was on the other foot, his friend would not have said that.
That's what I told him. Like, hell no.
No, you can use the bet stays.
Yeah, you can't do. What can you do that with FanDuel? Then don't do it with me.
FanDuel take that money ASAP.
Yep.
They take the money before the series over. Tatum not here, you're not gonna win. Sorry.
Yeah,
I do want to go back to the Eastern Conference Series because we did our preview and we all gave our picks, and I have changed my pick.
Oh yeah, bro.
You're
What
on
the
the-
pick was?
You took the
We
Pacers
did that.
last
I
time?
took Pacers 6. I took Pacers 7. I'm flipping it to
Knicks
Knicks.
6,
Knicks 7.
Knicks 7.
I
I don't blame you for flip flopping because it's a hard
it is a very hard
series to preview because when you preview, you try to find advantages,
Yep.
and they kind of just keep canceling. I will say the one advantage that the Knicks can have is the double big lineup.
The size and the rebounding is one of the
Mitchell
main
Robinson
reasons I
has been
flipped.
playing phenomenal.
We keep getting back to double big lineups though, but
And my question
You
is
seeing a shift?
for Rick
Seeing
Carlisle.
a shift?
hey, who was the first one to ever bring a shift up?
You?
Do you know
I
that,
don't-
or are you looking at Scatter?
No, I think you were the one that I actually initially first
I don't
here
remember
bringing
Chris
it.
Paul having a triple double in this game. Shout out to Chris Paul. And I question if or what Chris or Rick Carlisle can do to get rid of the double big lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's going to be one of the things that's going to be that much of a detriment. The Pacers are not a good rebounding team.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, one thing that always eliminates the double big is shooting. You got to make shots.
Well, I thought the Knicks did a good job in the series against Boston when they were trying to.
You think so?
Yeah, because
I think you have to keep them off the glass. Because even if you making shots, but they getting second and third opportunities, that don't make them. You feel me? If you was coaching and the team was making shots, but you're able to match the shots because you're getting the second and third opportunities, that don't make you feel you got to pull your big, right? It's like at some point they finna start missing shots.
it depends on what are you making threes or are you just matching your twos for their threes.
Well, I think that's like a revolutionary tale. I don't think no team is just shooting a three for every one of your twos. Unless you're the Celtics, which even they wasn't fucking doing it. You know what I'm saying?
I will give the Knicks credit though from last series against the Celtics. They were doing a good job of just like we'll live with the switch. We'll let
Did I
Jalen
say
Brunson kind of die on a
revolutionary tale?
one-on-one, and they were doing a pretty good job just letting
I
people
think you
die
did.
on
I
one-on-ones.
meant
They were doing
imaginary
a good.
I'm sorry, mate.
So
Did I say it
Yeah,
revolutionary?
you said revolutionary.
Yeah, I meant imaginary. What the fuck am I talking about? Lou Dort dreads little.
I also think about the matchups
Look at young Shai.
because
Darius Baisley is playing.
the matchups are going to be interesting because I mentioned on last week that like when they played against each other last year, Nembhard guarded Jalen Brunson primarily for the first 2 games, dogged his ass, and then they switched to Neesmith,
60%
where he shot like 30% on with Neesmith.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, they just gonna do that again. But that changes all the dynamic of the matchups because this Knicks team is not the same.
Yeah.
So Nembhard is now have to guard somewhere else, and that shifts everything up a spot. And I just don't know if that's gonna be able to work defensively.
My favorite thing is that in previous series, the big has guarded Josh Hart. I think they're going to do Haliburton on Josh Hart.
Yeah.
And that ain't the same as Jalen Duren on Josh Hart clogging up the paint or Porzingis.
Bro, Josh Hart put that hit with his paws. He tanks to the damn rim. Like
what was
he
you
will
finna
go
say?
right
I
through
don't
it.
even know what you could.
I think he was about to say he puts his head down.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah,
a pause?
nothing is wrong with that.
The way we be acting up here, somebody would have said something. But
Yeah,
Josh
so
Hart
you
is
suck
a
in
he's
the
a,
D. That's what, you know.
Hey man, we got a lot of players that are good at sucking in the D. Anyways, though, he's like a take when he runs to when he runs to
He
the paint.
is.
So
He is.
having a guy like Tyrese, is a little
Boxing
bit-
them out is also a tough task for a Tyrese Haliburton
No, that's what I was about to say.
who wants to run out.
That's going to be like his biggest task. That's probably Rick Carlisle telling us that you have to box out. Like, this is like something that they are like, box out.
To be honest with you, when I think about that, I and this is why I'm not a coach, Rick Carlisle is, I might tell Tyrese Haliburton to guard Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges does not put his head down to the basket. Mikal Bridges rather fades away for jump shots. Mikal Bridges is not as much active, not nearly as active on the glass as Josh Hart. So it's like Tyrese Haliburton ain't no little ass guard. You know what I mean? He when he can
He's just
lock you.
skinny.
He like 6'6", 190, 200.
And Mikal ain't really breaking you down. He might,
He
come
gonna,
off
he,
a
he
curl.
gonna be real fundamental with it. He gonna do his one dribble, maybe two dribble, and then get to his spot.
So I would try the Josh Hart thing, but if Josh Hart start abusing him on the glass and just being too much, I don't want to act like Mikal just finna punish Tyrese Haliburton. Like, clear out. Mikal just like Haliburton's 6'6". You know
That's
what I'm
a
saying?
good call.
He's 6'6".
I think about it too. How you said, I think we were talking about on the linear. I want to see OG get the Pascal assignment.
Me too. The former teammates,
Mhm.
Yeah.
cool.
Tricky, yeah.
Masai Ujiri in Toronto, fucking banging his desk. Like, I wish I still had these
He
guys.
waiting on, OG gonna be sitting on that spin move.
Oh yeah.
He waiting on it.
He cool. He like Manuel quickly a lot. Changed that brother's life.
I saw a trade with Emmanuel quickly.
To who?
where?
Sacramento. Sabonis went to the Raptors. It was more than those two, but that was like what I could remember.
Sacramento just making things happen.
They're
man.
drafting a big.
Yeah. I think they still potentially could.
What pick did they get again?
7 or 8.
8. Pelicans are 7.
You saying
They finna get Kane.
Yeah, I really think so. I really think it's like a match made in heaven. But
They talking about his visa stuff.
what?
His visa will make it tough to be in the NBA right. Well, not in the NBA, but in America.
How did
Wow.
that shit
So
work
that's
when
why
he was
it's
just
like
playing?
Toronto's perfect for him.
Oh,
Oh, I was gonna say, how does that shit work when he was just literally in
I
school?
have no
playing?
idea. I have no idea.
right. He was in North
He was just
Carolina,
in school.
traveling, playing
Maybe
in the
it's like a
Final
work
Four
visa
all
type of
around the
thing?
world.
Maybe. I don't know. I just read like a draft comp thing, and it was talking about his visa. And
This
everything.
series is gonna be good. This starts tomorrow, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Haliburton. He just got his he's the first NBA player to get a character in the NBA and in the WWE on WWE 2K25.
Was
Yeah,
that?
no,
That's a new compilation, WWE 2K.
I
No,
think
shout
he
out
never
to
really
Haliburton.
played
He
that,
also
though.
invited that
Oh, it's the same
fan.
company, so they probably just took his skin from 2K and just put
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
clothes on.
Yes.
They got him in the jorts.
They better have him in some
He
jewelry.
invited the fan that got the garbage thrown on him
Yes, he
to
did.
the Pacers game. So
Somebody was under that like, let me just wear a LeBron jersey to the next Warriors.
somebody
like,
was under the comments talking about P don't get it. He not from New York. I said, bro, I'm from Chicago.
Don't
People
get toxicity.
People get their head blown off for a lot worse. I think that motherfucker got like 700 likes. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's okay to just say some shit is past the line.
Yeah.
Everything is, oh man, no, you don't get it. I don't get that.
Yeah.
Fake tough ass shit. It's 100 of us Knicks fans, 1 Pacer fan, so we all got tough muscles. The fuck up out of here,
And they
man.
victim blaming, talking about, man, he shouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
He
why
shouldn't
would you
have done
wear it?
that."
Because he can fucking wear it. The same reason I'm gonna wear my Knicks jersey when we go to that Pacers game that we going to, right?
Yeah. You better wear it.
When we gonna buy our tickets?
Don't let them Pacers fans catch you.
Talk to me.
I'm about to look up prices right now. Don't worry.
Please do.
Don't let them Pacers fans catch you in that Knick jersey.
Pacer fans ain't like that.
Pacer fans are nice.
Yeah, they cool.
Yeah, they're welcoming people.
They gonna talk shit, which is fine.
Yeah.
You know what you're setting yourself up to, but I don't wear my jersey or wear whatever I want to wear thinking a motherfucker gonna throw some garbage on me. That's crazy. Talking
that's-
shit, I'm prepared for it though.
Next Sunday is game 3 in Indiana. Oh my fuck, I'm gone.
Them tickets expensive. It's in
Yeah, but not.
like 6.
Let's.
7,
So I'm guessing lower bowl is where we want to go.
6 or 7.
Just throw the numbers out, man.
Lower bowl, like 100 level. 1,700.
Damn.
Behind the rim is about 900.
1,700, crazy. For one game.
You think so?
You get in the building for like 300.
Yeah, we'll just look up and say what's up. I had a great month of YouTube. I'm finna have another great one. That shit gonna pay for that.
Darrick don't be uploading no more, so he can't say that.
You'll run up a quick bag, just react to every fucking playoff game. Do a mock draft. Man, listen.
Let's do a mock draft right now.
You react to every game in the playoffs from here on out, and you do a mock draft, you're gonna have a good month of June. I guarantee you. I can guarantee he don't want to put no work in. So all you gotta do is
He just hearing you.
12-minute videos that you already watching. Man, I thought Shai was phenomenal. Anthony Edwards, him. I think he's that guy. You talk like that for 10 minutes.
Your face be killing me, bro. Because
And you gonna make him
you
mad.
look like you don't really give a fuck about what
No,
you
I
say.
do.
I know he don't.
No, he
though.
don't. Because it's not the first time this conversation's come up.
I'm just saying, when we talk about going in the game, you're like, man, 1,700, that's fucking crazy. It's not crazy. I just heard Fat Joe talk shit on Joe Budden because he sat behind him on the floor for seats that cost $54,000. Now that is fucking crazy.
Wait, say it again.
Just have a good month on YouTube. It's not that crazy.
They was talking about sitting at the floor in the Knicks game.
Mhm.
And Fat Joe was like, man, I got to be on the floor. Like, we call the other seats the Joe Budden seats. But Joe Budden was behind him on the floor.
Yeah.
They both on the floor. You're talking about section A7 and B7. And people in the comments like, bro, what the fuck is this? Those are still 50,000. You know, you might have spent 30,000 on those tickets and you trying to shit on them because it's not literally row one.
What's that car Jay-Z talking about? He said,
What's the difference between the 4.0? Yeah.
what did he say about 20, 40,000?
Cocksucker beat it.
That type of
crazy.
shit.
It's
Nah, I
50
understand that type of
50
shit.
bands on a game.
And DJ Academics was breaking it down. He like, this is men's ego. Where like, y'all gonna fake compete about $54,000 tickets. And he was like, Fat Joe might have not even bought his ticket, but going to make Joe, who might have spent 30 band. And he like, man, Joe got to be like, man, you ain't gonna talk shit on me because I actually pay. You know what I mean? It's just like, what we talking about?
That's crazy that tickets like that in LA and New York, just how that's expensive to be on the floor.
So,
But it makes sense
People
though.
gonna buy them.
to answer it, people gonna buy
it.
it. But to answer it, 1,700 I'll pay because I know damn well I ain't paying no 54,000. Ain't no fucking way.
Bro, 54,000? That's, you go buy a new car. Just buy a
Legitimate
new car.
cash. 54,000.
You could buy a car cash.
That's a.
You could pay your mom's
that's
rent.
A safari vacation trip.
You could pay
right
your
there.
mom's rent or mortgage for the whole year. Hey, Ma, don't worry about the mortgage or the rent. You just make your
What if we
money
already
and
did
stack
that
it.
part?
Huh?
What if we already did that part?
Then you do it for your cousin.
Everybody rent paid.
You do it for your cousin. You know what I'm saying?
And watch that
Skip
damn
your
game
sister and your
on,
dad.
at
You
home.
Go right to the cousin.
He ain't peep. I'm talking me.
Oh, man.
That's the type of teammate I am.
What,
PJ Tucker
PJ
damn near
Tucker?
tackled hard because he had a good play. Yeah, boy.
Hard and strong too. He brushed it off.
He hard did. Bro. What's the most you? Okay, hypothetically speaking, let's say we do a podcast for a couple more years, get a contract extension. You walk away with a deal to give you $1.7 million, right? In a year, like that's your year salary.
I'll be back.
What did I say? Was it his face? He looked like I don't know nothing. I just threw a random. He looked like I knew something. You feel me? He did look like, oh shit, like 1.7. You don't want 1.7 though. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Do you just agree with everything Pierre said?
I want 2.2.
I don't think you do.
22, 22.
Oh, right.
I don't
Yeah,
think you.
22.
I don't think you do.
You be a goddamn jackass, be like, nah, I don't want the 1.7. You kidding me? I'm talking to these microphones twice a week.
if you don't want to react to games you already watching for an extra 11 minutes to make some side money, I don't think you want the responsibility of what to come with 2.2 million. That's a lot of fucking. Ain't nobody giving 2.2 to be like.
That's a very good point.
Come sit down.
Even 1.7.
Yeah,
I think if we do this and this is only it, no way in hell you ever get to 1.7.
Yeah.
The workload has to go up.
Yeah.
Just has
you're
to
gonna be
match it.
traveling. You're gonna have to cover the draft probably a lot more than fucking watching Keandre hoop intellect videos when we get to the month of June.
Hey,
That's what Mike been on.
They just killed me with that one, bro. I just seen you when he had dropped his video. You
I was
like,
excited to
"Shit, I
watch
am- he posted it.
Yeah, that's the guy.
To license
For
a lot of
real,
work.
though.
You know what I
We
mean?
got to get him. We don't be hooping no more.
The show might.
Him and his brother.
Who don't be
Yeah.
hooping?
I don't be hooping.
I will
know
fucking
he don't
hoop.
be hooping.
I don't hoop
and
at
I know
all.
he don't be hooping.
But this is the thing. I don't be hooping, but I'm never afraid to hoop. Because
me,
I don't.
Me and you in that same boat.
If I'm rusty
Yeah.
and I have a bad
I'm
day,
afraid
I don't
to
give a
hoop.
fuck.
I'm
me and you in
afraid.
that same boat.
I already know I'm gonna be rusty.
I got a basketball
Very
court by
rusty.
my house. I was thinking about tying Penny up and just shooting while we be going on walks. But
I'm trying to get my dad to put that damn basketball rim up at the house.
for real, you got
Yeah.
a rim already?
No,
just ain't put it-
no,
oh.
he don't. They got like, so there's a bunch of kids in the neighborhood or whatever, but across the street or whatever, there's a kid or a house or whatever. They got their basketball rim like on the garage or whatever, and like all the kids be playing at that little park. So he's like, yeah, I'm gonna put a basketball rim up on our garage. His dad just ain't never done it yet.
That
I love how
hard,
KB's like the only house without a basketball rim.
Yeah, my neighborhood.
But he's the biggest basketball fan there, probably.
Like literally
Yeah.
everybody damn near has a basketball rim.
I just
except
feel like
I
that's
don't
a
have no
necessity.
kids.
I had a
Garage.
basketball in my last house, and it was just a nightmare to deal with.
what do you have to deal with?
I mean, when we decided that we didn't want it anymore, what the fuck are we supposed to do? We put it on the curb and hope somebody took it, and nobody took it for like a month.
Yeah.
And then we moved, and I don't know, it might still be there. Who
You
knows?
could have just
Ain't
left
no
it up.
ki-
Couldn't you
ain't-
have just left it up?
Yeah, but it was in the way of like we couldn't park in our garage. And if you put it off
used
to the
fake
side,
shooting on that,
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
If you put it off to the side, it messes up the lawn because of
It's too heavy.
Oh,
Yeah.
push the grass down.
yeah.
too.
So it was just not worth having. And I took it from my neighbor. My neighbor was gonna sell it, and I was like, I'll just roll it across the street. He
Oh.
got my ass.
He's like,
Not my
play
problem
right into his
anymore.
hands.
like
Ain't
a
no kids in my
Simpsons bit.
neighborhood. Like, I would shoot with the kids if
Yeah.
it's all.
Bro,
older people.
I pulled up to my parents' house and all the kids was out there. And I promise you, my dad was out there playing with the kids on this little ass hoop. And there's like 6, 7 people up there. I'm like, they is having a fucking ball.
What a good guy Paul is.
But I was saying, hypothetically, you was in position, you got your work ethic up, you made 1.7 million. What would be the most that you would spend on a ticket?
a
Of
ticket.
any event. It don't have to be a bad. I know you love wrestling.
Wrestling, I would pay $1,700 to go to a wrestling event.
1,700 is not a lot of money.
So you would have when we said it was gonna be
in this scenario.
we said it was gonna start at a rack. You was okay? It's only $700 more.
Yeah.
If it was 500 and it jumped up to 700,
If you make it
I think-
1.7 and you can sit near ringside for 40,000, you think you do that
For
for WrestleMania? Like,
no,
what would be the most you would spend for that?
5.
oh, so you're just not doing it.
On
I
some
think
real
you
shit,
can
if
get
I
really
had the
close for
1.7,
5,000.
I'm talking ringside.
Not if it's 40.
If
That's
I-
a 35,000 drop off. If hypothetically he said 40 was the ringside, you ain't getting really close for 5. You still getting in a good seat, but you ain't getting really close for 5 if it's 40. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If a courtside Knick game was 54,000, shit, I'm not getting close for 5,000. I'm gonna have a good seat probably,
Yeah.
but that mean the close
how
people
much you
still
paying
paid.
Pete, for courtside Knicks during the finals?
And I make
you
1.7.
1.7 because you said the 40,000. If it was the Lakers in that scenario, and I'm making 1.7 and that's salary. That's just not like what I like. That's in that year. I'm probably going taking that trip.
I'm taking the trip too. But here's the question.
What was the
taking
number
that
again? I'm
trip.
sorry.
40.
Oh, 100%.
Here's the
Fucking
question
kidding me?
though.
I'm doing it for every game if it's 40.
Could I have would I have a friend like one of y'all that would spend 40 to come with me?
Hey, if he got 1.7,
Yeah, that
that
mean
must
we-
mean that we got
You got
something too, right?
1.7, right?
Yeah, I'm on my way.
Because
shit.
I'm not, Dana ain't coming for 80.
No.
She don't even like basketball.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But I would spend it. And I'll give you another scenario, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And this is gonna sound very childish because we're a lot older.
I'm listening.
It's a clout pool too. Because I spend my 40 racks and I'm sitting courtside in New York at the Guard. I can't speak for the United Center. I can't speak for the Blazers. I can't speak for at a Thunder game. But at a Knick game, I spend 40,000. I'm potentially next to Spike Lee, Ronnie Feig,
You get the underground experience too, where maybe all the celebrities could
Tracy Morgan.
chilling.
You feel me? Who the fuck is? Yeah, hey, Stephen A. I work for you, dig too. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You did the show, my cut. You gotta come fuck with us. You know what I'm saying? Like any of that, and that's the type of person I am.
So you're gonna use it also as networking.
Networking opportunity.
Not even.
Spike Lee, when y'all
'Cause
start shooting y'all next movie?
That's
You
how
need an extra or two.
I don't network. Network is people who I'm gonna give you that other side where you gonna already think you know me. Spike, my man. Hey boy, I ain't seen you. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder how they feel about that.
Comp 10.
Like, would that blow? Do you think Spike Lee would be blue?
He probably met so
I think
many.
it's situational.
He done
Not
met so
if
many
I'm on the
damn
floor
people that
with
his
them.
ass don't even remember.
If I was 17 rows behind him, I'm another motherfucker. If I am on the floor with him, his brain goes, where do I know that guy from? I'm telling you, it's just like
That's the
summer
worst
league.
place to put somebody, by the way. I've been in that situation. What do I know?
But
him
and it's
from?
crazy because you know how many Knicks games he been to. He be like, man, I gotta remember him for somebody.
I'm sure he's seen us on
what if his
ESPN
memory's
or
so
a
good?
clip
He like, no, I don't think I ever seen you around these parts
You a
before.
fresh face.
that I'll remind him. You know, it's different when you're a random person, like KB saying. You got a dude working at fucking Petco who went to school with you 12 years ago telling you remember me? Versus,
My mom put me in that position last week.
oh my God.
She at church. Talking about, look who it is. Hey. Yeah. And she was like, you don't even remember who I am. I was like, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know. See, I'm so-and-so daughter. I don't even know so-and-so.
Oh, that's
So
crazy.
I'm like, and then later I call him, I'm like, don't do that shit again, please.
My
don't.
uncle do that, but you know what my uncle do? He push it. I'm straight up. I'm like, I don't do the hey. It be like, P, you remember Ron? Like, no, I don't remember Ron. Man, you remember Ron used to stay on 26. He used to stay behind the grocery store. You remember Ron, man? No, I don't remember Ron. Man, Ron had the Monte Carlo black with the... I don't fucking remember Ron. Got to go through 3 layers of proving that I don't remember Ron. I be trying to just get it out the way, like, no, I don't remember. So you be like, oh, no, it's cool. You know, that was years ago. No, uncle got to keep pressing and pressing. But it's different when you have something to reference. So if I did tell it to Spike, he's like, no, I don't remember. Oh, yeah, and I'll be on ESPN, so you might have seen me. You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
Yeah.
But if you just walking up to a motherfucker like, hey, watch all your movies. Big fan. Can we take a selfie? And it's like, nah.
Security.
Exactly. It's
the
just
hell
like the
does
summer
this
league
do?
when we got on that flow. You just start going up to people talking like, hey, Mbizzle, MB, you can't do the Darrick. Darrick called motherfucker by their whole government name. Matt Barnes, hey. Nick Nurse,
All right, Nick Nurse.
hey, DeMar DeRozan,
Y'all crazy.
hey, Luke Maabute.
That's crazy.
Talk about, hey, Demetrius.
That's nuts.
Hey, that man Darrick will say, I remember Jason Tatum at that SoFi thing. Jason Tatum came and walked through. He was like, fellas. Darrick said, hey, what up, Jason Tatum?
No, I did not know.
You don't remember
Bruh,
he walked
I
fast?
promise you said, what's up, Jason Tatum? Because I remember looking at you like, bro, you got to figure out some nicknames.
You
for
don't
these,
remember
bro.
he walked past?
Yes, Jason Tatum walked
When he
past.
was eating them
The
tacos, he said,
tacos.
where you get them from?
I just say-
Taco J. Before we start going places,
Those tacos is weak as fuck.
we gon' yeah, they look. We gon' put together top players, and we gonna find nicknames for you to call them, because that's my pet peeve. I hate when
Like
we see
Zach?
somebody. No, fuck no, real nicknames like
He might
Taco J,
fuck
or
around and hit you
JT,
and call him Zach.
JB.
Sound like his baby mama.
I would never go up to Jalen Brunson to be talking about Brun. That's what I call him.
I think I called Jalen Brunson JB when I met him. What
Yeah,
up,
you know what I'm
JB?
saying? What up, JB?
But sometimes I be having to be specific because it's Jalen Brown and it's also Jalen Brunson.
I'm pretty sure
But
if you
two
say
people can have the same
JB,
name.
Brunson, no, you're talking about him and not. He
Yeah.
wasn't.
Unless they are right next to
Right,
each
they're in
other.
they're in different damn states right
What
now.
up, JB?
And he gonna be like,
Jalen
who,
Brunson
me or
like,
Jalen Brunson? Who two states are
No, I'm
around?
talking about when I reference them. Like, if I say, man, I love me some JB, you probably think I'm talking about Brunson.
It depends
It
on the
depends on
context.
context.
If we're fucking talking about the playoffs, we all know you're talking about Brunson because Jalen Brown ass is home.
Or
Yeah.
Cancun.
That's the finals MVP right there. Stop talking to him.
Yeah, if you talk about, my favorite finals MVP is JB. None of us gonna be like, Brunson ain't win the finals MVP.
Yeah.
My boy, you're right.
That'd be funny as hell if OG Anunoby won Finals MVP if they won. Though.
I wouldn't give a fuck.
I was thinking
Hey,
about
time
that.
out. I keep forgetting. Hey, if they win the championship, we're going to New York.
You going to the parade?
We're going to New York. We're going to New York.
I was going to New York anyway, so.
Get lost or get with it. You either in the huddle or out the
Major
huddle.
moves right here, baby. Got to get with it, get lost.
He don't even know what
That's
that is.
Weezy.
Okay.
Okay. And who?
Jay-Z.
No.
No.
That's a fucking R&B song.
Yeah.
It's Lloyd.
Oh, no. Yeah, that is Lloyd.
He said, "Stop."
Wait a minute.
Rumors.
What? I don't really care about that basketball no more. What happened? Do that?
Did y'all talk about something? Yeah, I came
little
in. Y'all
bit.
talking about MPJ.
Do that type of stuff still happen? I feel like Chris Brown, Lloyd, they was making songs where they was hitting on women. He said, "Stop, wait a minute," and he like spitting game in song form.
Yeah.
And then like Chris Brown had, "Yo, I don't know your
Yeah,
name, but
yeah.
excuse me." I feel like songs don't be.
No,
I
R&B.
I got to
no.
admit that am I made me want to say
R&B is not the same as it used to be.
I just seen somebody tweet that like this isn't. It's literally not the same at all.
I think it's more disrespect.
Or like even
Who's the number
21
one?
Questions.
Real shit. Who's the number one like R&B
Got Brent
artist?
Fayez,
Right
What
now,
is it,
Brent.
The
SZA?
Weeknd.
The
SZA?
Weeknd.
The Weeknd.
Yeah, SZA.
I was thinking from the male
Male.
perspective.
From a male-
Probably the Weeknd.
Yeah, it's the
I would
Weekend's price.
Isn't the
the
Weeknd
biggest.
changing his name?
think
He
might
is?
be.
I think he's changed his name to just his name.
Just Weekend.
Abel.
Oh, Abe. Oh.
Because he's doing like acting and stuff.
He
Oh.
is. But yeah, I
And
say
it's not the same, but
Weeknd.
again,
Brent
but yeah,
Fayez.
Weeknd does a lot of good like storytelling and like kind of capturing the moment type of things.
Yeah, and then you still have like when Drake is in his R&B bag, he's still one of the best.
Knew he was gonna bring in Drake.
Drizzy Drake Rogers.
I don't think Darrick listened to him with that shit.
Who?
Yeah,
He said Drizzy Drake Rogers.
yeah. I don't think he be late to the party. You probably ain't start fucking with Drake till he's mainstream. You never heard him?
You ain't heard brand new?
Brand new? Fuck you, bitch. I'm acting brand. That's Lil Wayne though.
No, that's a whole different song.
Drake has a song called Brand New.
It's like the
Isn't
first
that
time.
on So Far Gone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was the first time I ever heard of him.
Brand new.
Brand New. Wayne is on that too.
Yeah. I think.
Speaking of Lloyd, I took a night off for you.
You know what song? Don't.
That's
no.
a juke party
Speaking of
platinum song.
Facts.
An old funny ass R&B song that be stuck in my head from time to time is that you've officially been chopped and screwed. That shit
And
is stuck in my head for
screwed.
so fucking long.
He also had that Freeze. The Freeze song. That's T-Pain. T-Pain had Freeze, Chopped and Screwed. I think Freeze had Chris Brown on it, and he had that I could put you in the mansion.
Somewhere in West Kansas. Just making shit up.
He actually just posted the
Stretching
video.
Of him making it.
Yeah,
right?
he was like, "This is the first time I've rhymed Wisconsin."
I like T-Pain content.
Yeah, T-Pain.
He does a
he's
really
like
good job.
made for that shit.
Yeah,
Bro.
he does a really good job.
I like T-Pain. T-Pain had that
Talented
shit when
man.
he was young.
No, he did.
They used to say he was untalented because of the
auto
Auto-tune,
tune.
but
but
yeah.
he's very
I
talented.
honestly didn't.
He
care.
really can sing though.
He can really
He just
sing.
used it.
Yeah.
He
It
just
was
found
dope.
his lane and was like, "That's what I'm gonna do then."
I'ma buy you a drink. Ooh-wee. I'ma take you home with me. I got money in the bank. I didn't get like that.
Y'all know I haven't really been into music over the last couple years. These last 24 hours been pretty
Joey
damn dope.
Badass?
This Joey Badass beef with everybody is fucking dope, man.
Yeah, I like it.
Everybody's having fun with it. We don't really get to hear Joey rap, so the fact that we got like 4 or 5 songs in the last week.
Is
this
he really
freestyling-
just beefing with people, or is
So
he just
if-
like putting himself in?
I did watch a YouTube video about it yesterday of where it all started. It started after during the Kendrick Drake
Yeah,
thing.
it literally.
And
I
then he was
remember
basically
that.
saying like everybody West Coast dick licking over in the
On
East
the
Coast,
ruler's
we
back?
still do the
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm back. The East Coast is still it. I'm still number one. Yeah. And then motherfuckers like, no, you ain't, Nick. And it's like, and a lot of people just dropped songs about it. And now he beefed with like 4 different people. And now CJ Fly, his homie,
Yeah.
dropped the diss as well. Some other duo I never heard of dropped one called Nixon 6 yesterday. That was pretty dope.
It was like Kendrick is probably never gonna respond to him.
No. I mean,
He's not
they're
in
cool.
that
They're
beef,
cordial.
though.
Yeah, they're cordial.
not
Like
in
even
that
in the Absol Big Sean thing.
He said in there, yeah.
It's like
I thought he had ended up. I thought he dissed Kendrick in a song when they were.
I don't know if he really dissed him, but he but he's not in the beef because
Yeah.
nobody.
because it all
responded to
goes
him.
back to with like the control verse, right? When
Yeah.
he was
Friendly
just naming
competition.
people, and it's like Joey's like, my name was in there,
I
not
would-
y'all's.
I think everybody, because a lot of people threw themselves in the beef,
Yes, they did.
but I don't consider him because they not responding to his ass.
Yeah.
But like Rick Ross got involved. I mean, the
A$AP Rocky.
game, ASAP Rocky, The Weeknd, they actually got some attention time from Drake. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Different shit like
Like,
that.
look how many songs it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mick Jenkins is in it.
What?
I have no idea.
Yeah, might as well. Reason had dropped a disc.
Reason got a couple.
His shit sounded too much like fucking Euphoria. He was literally sounding like, and
Oh,
that's my
wow.
dog. Shout out to Reason. He was on the show I had with HOH. But
I didn't list it as Mick Jenkins one. I haven't heard Mick Jenkins in a minute. That used to be one of my favorite artists.
Ray Vaughn doing his thing.
Back in the while. Yeah, no.
I heard that Ray Vaughn one.
I ain't gonna lie. I didn't hear him before this. But
That beat switch, that shit was kind of crazy.
which song is? Because he dropped a few now.
He dropped 2, but the
I'm
first
gonna
one.
look at it. What the
is,
song was, but the beat switch on that shit was so cool.
What is that first one called?
He made a lot of P Diddy references in the latest.
Yes, he did. Which one is that one called? It's called like
Let's see.
Dead Eye. It's something like a James Bond thing.
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
Is he like
Don't know.
dissing Diddy or is he like just referencing?
He-
He's dissing Joey Badass while referencing Diddy.
Oh,
Yeah. Because I guess they were.
There's pictures of like Joey Badass with Diddy and different things like that.
oh. I mean, that's every musical artist damn near that was coming up.
I guess
Oh man,
it's just a matter of how close
Y'all been
were
keeping
you?
up with
Yeah,
that?
how close were
keeping
you?
up with what?
The
the
Diddy
case?
trial?
No,
I've
your
been-
fiance was at our house. She was trying to explain the stuff to me. I have not been keeping up at all.
I've been
Yeah, it's kinda
seeing bits and
a
pieces
lot
here
going
and there.
on.
Yeah, I know they just did the Cassie thing.
I'm reading that Cassie stuff again. It's just disturbing.
That's why, I'm so detached from it because I don't like that type of imagery in my head.
Yeah,
I'm like more of an ignorance is bliss. He did some bad shit. I understand that, but I don't need to know the specifics personally.
yeah.
I'll let the justice system. do all
I'm
that shit.
ignorant as bliss on a lot of things. I wouldn't. I was looking for the details in this. Cause I just be fucking curious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been so much just conversation revolving around this whole thing for like so long now. Again, I was a little interested. Just look again, what was really going on? There's so many conversations about it on Twitter, and people just sometimes talk out their ass. Like something.
That's
Some of
what-
the jurors have also talked about it too, like on the streets. I'm not jurors, but people who are
Can
in
the jurors talk about it?
No, not the jurors. I meant to
can't
say the
talk
people
about
that were
it.
in the audience.
There's people covering it.
Yeah,
there's
there's
get
people in the
paid-
audience that have
same
come
when you
out
get
and
paid
does-
to cover a playoff
Yeah.
game. There's people who cover it. But to Mike's point, it's like that's why I be interested because it's like people will go and like you said, you can have an article. They're not going to put the end of the Aaron Gordon article. They're going to put in the part that. So it's like I can't go off of what Twitter is saying.
Yeah, one of the girls that was in the audience that's covering it, she was like, so far this hasn't seemed like the federal case that it was initially put as like a RICO racketeer and sex trafficking case. It seems more so like a different type of, like a domestic abuse type of, I don't know. She was saying that he's going to go to jail, but it might not be for what people think it's going to end up being, like forever.
He's still,
But I don't know. I literally
it's
don't
still.
know.
It's not like his ass getting off though.
Yeah.
Like his ass is going.
He's
away.
not getting off because he was getting off too fucking much.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
some freaky shit going on.
I think that's a funny. It's so much. I'm not even gonna really speak on into it to like that degree because there's so much shit that
No,
go into
say
it.
it.
There's too many victims for
Yeah.
it to
Yeah,
be
I was gonna say it's
comedic.
like
I don't know how to
Oh,
explain
okay,
it.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, it's like
Some of it, I see what Mike is saying though. Some of it you see and you can't do shit but laugh.
The baby oil thing, that's one of the original
That's like,
things. That's
you know what I'm
nuts.
saying?
That's why I was gonna say a lot of people. It's a lot darker shit in it, but people are making fun of all the freaky stuff and all that type of stuff. It's like you're not gonna go to jail for being freaky, but it's all the other shit included.
That's the
in
part
that
to me
that's
that
really
becomes
like
comedic.
dark.
Just for this, how freaky can you be to sit up there and call some shit a freak off?
yeah, that shit
You
is
could just
crazy.
say we finna party,
Just
we
to be-
finna get
yeah.
together. You really sat there and thought about it. What I'm gonna call these freak offs? That just sound crazy to be saying.
And
KB,
it's
what
so
you finna do?
unoriginal too.
What you finna do when you get up? I'm finna go to this freak off. Like that just sound it's just some nasty sounding shit to me. I just couldn't be walking around talking about freak off, texting freak off. Hey, 10 minutes, we finna go to the freak off. On some serious shit though. Like I that's the part where I'm reading this shit like, you gotta be a sick freak.
Yeah. I remember that one girl made that indictment and put Drewski in there.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. She put Drewski in the indictment and then
It's not even what we're talking about. Drewski wasn't even famous.
Oh, that
Yeah.
shit? Yeah.
She
okay.
said that Drewski like
That was an indictment?
yeah.
Oh. I didn't know it was an indictment. But
And
I
that's
remember that.
that's the terrible part of it all, is that there's so much real shit going on.
That you don't know what's the
that people even play the like fake shit makes it
Harder.
harder to.
Yeah, because anybody could essentially could write an indictment on Diddy right now, and it's gonna get looked at, and it's gonna make the news.
It just be.
Oh yeah, Odell was in there as well. It was Diddy and Odell. I mean, Diddy, Odell Beckham, and Drewski were the three
The
people
shit
were
that lives
mentioned.
rent free in my head is when LeBron says, "Ain't no party like a Diddy party,"
Yeah.
and that shit just makes you
Hey,
think.
don't bring that up again.
This shit just kind of makes me wonder.
Why?
Don't bring
I
that
think
up
you
again.
can go and party with somebody and not be doing the same thing.
Apparently, Diddy said, "Nah, that's not how we doing this. This is a freak off."
That's the social media part that I just feel like is so dual. I don't think that if you ever went to a Diddy party, they were just ass naked walking around having a freak off. There's definitely shit that probably had a real party, and then when it was time for everybody to leave, it got where it was got to go. But the idea of like that Twitter thought, LeBron been to a Diddy party, oh my God, like that.
They had a picture with damn near everybody with a picture of Diddy at some point.
It's like the Epstein thing. Every
Yeah.
celebrity been with Epstein. Well, no, I take that back. Not every.
Diddy been around for
Very
so
specific
damn
ones.
long.
Yeah.
He was just old as hell.
Either way, we appreciate that that y'all are watching this episode. Go hit the Enjoy Basketball
Is it 2:00 yet?
site. No.
Somebody said, hey, listen to this latest episode of Mind the Game and tell me LeBron don't watch NOTB. He's already said 2 of your catchphrases. What could my catchphrases
I know
be?
what I'm gonna be listening
Hey,
to on
Bron.
my way home.
Bron, if you listening to this in your next episode, use the word peanut butter twice in different contexts.
What would my catchphrases be, though, if y'all had to guess?
What college you went to? Yeah, Steve Nash. That shit.
Oh.
What college you went to? The most disappointing.
That would be
shit.
hilarious.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I guess we gotta listen.
Steve Nash got the shit wrong. He didn't know Sean Marion went to UNLV.
We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Hit the link. Get some of the stuff from the capsule. Even if you're not a fan of those 4 teams, that would be
Just
pretty
get
dope.
fly. Just get fly.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.